welcome to the Miss Best Reviews channel. I'm Mrs. Best, and we have our regular co-host James from the Watch Yo Mouth Reviews channel. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Make sure that you are liking the video, subscribing to the channel, leaving us a comment, maybe even two, and also share the video so we can get that watch hour time up for my girl.
Yes, please do. Please do, y'all. Also, subscribe to computer almost died. Subscribe to James's channel as well, you guys. The link to his channel is in the description of this video. We are here to go over the end of, in my opinion, one of the most entertaining seasons of Married at First Sight. I will not say one of the best seasons because nobody made it but one, but definitely one of the more entertaining seasons. We're going over season 20, episodes 19 and 20. The big ending. Okay, I am not gonna lie, y'all, I thought we'd be here longer, but I have thoughts on the reunion, but I'm gonna get into decision day first. I want to give a big shout out to all of the moderators on this channel. I appreciate all of you. You all help to keep me compliant. You help me to understand these YouTube guidelines. You make it a safe space for everybody watching. That does matter, and I do appreciate y'all. And if I ever get to making some good income, sharing the wealth, okay? Because I appreciate y'all. But let's get into decision day first. Before we get into the reunion, I did separate my notes that way because it just seemed like it would be easier. Also, a big shout out to AB. I do hope you guys like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also hype the video up. It is an easy way to support myself as well as any creator that's really on YouTube. Key1JTV is telling James to check his DM later. Please do. Please do. Please do. Hello, Shayna. Hello, hello, hello. She said, I never watched an episode since this show come on. You be in the lives. I had no clue. I had no clue.
I kind of feel like you missing out a little bit. This season actually wasn't as bad. Very problematic, I will say. And we gonna get into it, but I was entertained from start to finish.
From the beginning to the end, okay? So much entertainment. Y'all, let's get into decision day. We're going to start with Felipe and Tori. Felipe apparently told Tori that he is constantly thinking of cheating on her. Now, I guess he said this off camera, but I don't understand why you would say that to her. He also admitted to doing this experiment as it relates to being on the show for clout. And I'm kind of like,
So you put an entry mark on your public record for clout on a television show? You could have did another type of reality TV show. Why ruin your public record for it?
I don't understand Felipe. I just think that's a crazy thing to say to anybody. Like, I can't stop thinking about cheating on you. You're obviously, they talk about Mecca be self-sabotaging, but in my opinion, Felipe self-sabotages. Mecca just don't like black women. That's my opinion. But, and that's fine if he don't. But I just don't understand. I just don't understand Felipe and how he moves. But Felipe talks to Tori about that, and she asks him if he thinks it's normal, and he says yes. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with him? And she tells basically the camera that she feels like he's sociopathic, and I agree. He's sociopathic, he's petty, he's childish. Now, to be fair, she did explain that she wasn't happy with it. It did look like she still tried to give him some type of a shot, even at the moment where they're deciding if they want to be together. But Felipe says that he is most comfortable with Tori. He enjoys being around her or living with him. But then at the same time, he says he didn't want to hurt her. And I hate when people say that you didn't want to hurt her, but you did. And then she's been telling you ever since you busted out at the dinner table episodes ago that you want to cheat, that was embarrassing. Yet you continue to embarrass this woman and say crazy stuff in front of her, on camera, in the confessional, away from people. I don't think that's okay. But she tells him that she wants a divorce, which was the right thing to do because he's a freaking man child. And he asked her to be friends because he's like, I still want you in my life. Can we be friends? And she politely declined. I don't think it's realistic to stay friends with your ex, especially if you lived with them or if you like were engaged or, you know, married to them. It's going to be very difficult to be friends. Now, if you got some kids or something, fine. But they ain't got no kids. We're done. We don't have to talk to each other. Seattle's a big city. And I was annoyed because he had the audacity to say, dang, I'm going to have to tell my parents. And it just gave privileged teenager because you just lost a marriage, but you're more concerned about how it's going to make your parents feel instead of how it made the woman who you claim to love and care about and be comfortable around feel. And it just goes to show this is why she don't want you. Felipe should have never been cast for this show. Felipe should not have been allowed to proceed. And the experts did the women this season, with the exception of Caitlyn and Courtney, dirty. I mean, dog doo-doo dirty. Just did them dirty. But how did you feel about Felipe and Tori's breakup at Decision Day?
I felt for Tori more so than anything, just because I felt like she really was not given the fairest of chance to really get into this experiment and find somebody who really wanted to be committed to her. It just seems like the outcome of him was, I just wanted to be on TV, point blank in the period, and I had to do it at somebody else's expense, as he explained that. And I just felt like that, to me, that robs her of a chance of really getting to know somebody, then falling in love, and then continuing on with marriage. I feel like she is deserving of that chance, just like anybody else sitting there who actually wants it. So to me, I feel like that was so unfair for her. And I feel like if they do cycle back to Seattle, they need to give her a second chance to get it right if she wants it. That's if she wants it.
That's fair. But would you trust them with
No,
a
I
second
wouldn't.
chance
No,
after?
I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't listen. I'm not even on the show, and I wouldn't trust them anyway, just because I can't guarantee that they're gonna get it right.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
fair. That is fair. I agree with that. AB said, I never ever want to see most of these people again on my TV screen. Be gone.
I liked some of them. I did. I didn't mind. I actually liked some of them, not all of them, but I liked some of them.
Some of them were likable, but I also kind of agree that I don't want to see half of them on TV again. Hello, love. Welcome in. Welcome in. Love says some of these people are in the wrong show. They need to be in The Bachelor or Love Island. Listen, Belle Jolie gave Caitlyn, we're going to talk about it later, a Love Island read that I was here for, but I kind of agree. The problem is a lot of these people I think are too old for Love Island. That seems to be for like, you got to be like under 30, it seems, to do Love Island. This show
Uh,
sounds like a whole fool and I love it. Were you going to say
I'm
something?
telling you, Miss AK, you missing out. I about to say I've never seen Love Island, so I wouldn't even know. But I would hate for age to be a discriminant factor to not be on that show. But
I mean, I guess if you look a certain way, it seems to be putting like pretty like Instagram influencers together to have conversations with people. And I don't like it. I don't see the hype with Love Island, but you
they
know,
make a
some
lot of
people love
money
it.
though. They do.
They
They make a
are.
lot. They making a lot of money. So,
Stop bringing people on the challenge from Love Island.
oh yeah, I saw that.
That irks me because they come on there and they don't play right. But I'm gonna let it go. Love says, because how you on a SHIT will you where you know you're not gonna get to see the person before you say I do.
Well, the thing about it is, I got what you were saying. You can also walk away once you see them. You don't
Thank you.
have to go forward. You can just seriously say, no, thank you. I'm going to turn around, exit stage left. That does rob the other person the chance, but you got to do what's right for you. And I'm waiting to see that episode or that season where someone said, I'm good, which should have been Nikki. But Nikki a trooper, so I can't really give it to her that way. But if I saw something I did not was not physically attracted to,
Walk away.
I'm walking away. I'm saying no, thank you. No, you're not gonna play with me in my
Because
time.
you wasting your time and the other person's time.
Everybody, yes, this it's just not gonna work.
Uh-oh. It froze you for a second. You were trying to type show. You all good. I know autocorrect is the devil. Shout out to Kevin Reynolds. Autocorrect is never on our side. Never on our side. Speak makes me smarter than a three. Belle Jolie did let it be known. I agree with Shayna too. This new version of Married at First Sight is essentially Love is Blind. That's essentially what it gave. They did kind of get away from the heart of Married at First Sight. And I loved Love is Blind season 1. Didn't mind it season 2. I'm kind of over it now, but that's a very good comparison because it's like these people just kept going when they didn't have to. Oh, you tired of them too. Y'all tap in. Shayna does this show as well. She's been covering this season with Miss Kira Speaks, another great creator. Both of the links to their channels are in the description of this video. Okay, yeah, see, I've watched a little of Love Island. I know they too old for it. You gotta be like aesthetically perfect, young, delusional, and also partly toxic to do. These shows bring in the film views. That's why they keep doing different versions of dating shows. That's true. That's true. But if this is what's out there for single people, I'm sorry, y'all. I am sorry. A show called Adults on Hulu. Oh, I might check it out. They don't want to get sued for walking away. I'm sure there's something like contractual that is forcing them to stay. But if it don't work, then it doesn't work.
I don't know. See, this is the thing. That's tricky because there have been couples who did not finish the process, and I would be considering that to be the same thing. They probably just would take away my paychecks from future episodes, and I would be okay with that because I want my time. I don't really care about the money. If this really is for love, I can care less about what you pay me. But I would think that because some couples didn't even finish the whole experiment and didn't stay to the end, that would be essentially the same thing. I'm not going to just waste my time.
That's fair. That's fair. Uh-oh. Okay, let me get into what happened next. Belle, Julie, and Mecca went to therapy before decision day, and individually, the therapy was good. I feel like we should have had more individual therapy sessions. However, we just did not. I don't know. She told Dr. Paz that she feels seen by Mecca, and I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And I like Belle. Pretty girl. But please, 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 please stop making it seem like this man has seen you and cares about you when the Mecca has made an absolute fool out of you. And I'd rather you date white women if this is how you treat black women, sir. And shame on you for how you move, because he's disrespectful regardless of if Belle was white, black, Hispanic, anything in between. Like the way that Mecca treated her was not okay. And then to see that you'll treat someone right if they're your type, which means they got to be thicker. Sir, comb your hair, change your braids, put on a do-rag, take off that nail polish and figure it out before you try to say anything about a woman while you're out here cosplaying as one halfway low key. So I don't understand Mecca to any extent, but they meet up at a little lookout with hella people around. Seattle has lots of beautiful sights. That's what I learned from this. And they chose to stay married, which confused the hell out of me. I was genuinely confused. She said she went back and forth on her decision, which is a concern. When you decide you want to marry somebody as someone married, I've never went back and forth on my decision. I never doubted it. Yes, you are nervous, but there's a difference between being nervous and being certain. I was nervous, but I was still certain that's who I wanted to be with. It doesn't make sense. Belle sat there and Mecca was like, I'd like to stay married. And she looked like she wanted to say no, but said yes just because he said he wanted to stay married. And it gave what has been given the whole relationship. She's just looking to protect this grown-ass man. And he's a grown-ass man. Like, if you don't want to marry him, don't marry him. I don't get it. But how did you feel about these two choosing to stay together? Because I thought it was some BS. I'm not going to lie.
It was Alicia's comment. Bella just wanted to be married, and that was my problem with her. I can feel like, to me, you don't take on disrespect, demeaning behavior, and very, toxic behavior traits out of this man just because you want to be married. Like, to me, that was crazy that in that moment you just completely threw away your intuition to say no just because he said yes. Because I do agree with you. I feel like because he said yes, that gave her some power to say yes. Because I think if he would have said no, she would have said no. And I feel like you don't need to base your decision on what his decision is. Because of course he's going to want to stay married to you. Of course he's going to want to be with you. Of course he sees some benefit to you being his wife because of who his daddy is in that family. Because this is all what this is about. If we're being honest, this is to appease that family. So I was so disappointed. I was like, wow, you really gonna sit up here and say yes to this man, knowing you got every red flag, knowing the man, and you still said yes.
I can't.
Like,
Respect yourself more as a woman. Like, I
right.
always try to encourage that on my channel. It is better to be alone. There is nothing wrong with being single at all. And I don't understand why some women are willing to go to the ends of the earth and ignore their own like needs and what will bring them happiness just to be with some raggedy man. Okay, men are great, but they're not that great. Okay, they just not. So I don't know, but we'll see. Let me get these comments. Shayna said no, they threaten them with lawsuits. The couples who leave are always there until close to the end. They used to leave earlier. They sure did back in the day. Some people used to call it quits in the like super early seasons. Some couples called it
Really?
quits before they could even get to the honeymoon. Some people quit in the middle of the honeymoon. But that's where the integrity of the show, once you have a show that's gone for this long, it goes away. Like even the reunion, I'll get into that later, felt pre-produced and like a show. It didn't give experts, it gave host. Child Belle Jolie saying yes had my face on the floor. It was pathetic, and I wish she didn't do that. I mean, yeah, she came back and had her moment at the reunion, but her, Marissa, I wasn't impressed by them as the rest of the world was at the reunion because y'all said something too late, and that's a problem and probably part of why they alone. Because you stay too long with motherfuckers you should have left, and then you blocking, who knows, you could be blocking your blessings staying with these people that you should not be with. Oh, I didn't mean to read Mecca down. Oops, I gotta work on that.
Yes, you did. Stop
I
that.
didn't mean to
Yes, you
hurt
did.
his feelings. I'm
No,
just
yes,
giving
you,
my opinion.
no, yes, you did. Stop. Don't lie to the people. She actually, absolutely intended to read this man. And I'm proud of her that she did because he deserves that.
Lord,
And when we get to the reunion, he's going to further deserve whatever read she finna give him. So yes, she deserves. She
he is a
intended to
grown
do it.
boy. He is a grown boy.
He need to
She has
get.
been desiring marriage her whole life. People like this, you're never going to strong arm anyone into marrying you. You're never going to make a marriage work with a person who's bad for you if you're in a marriage. And if you get engaged and make it to marriage and your stuff is toxic, it's probably just going to be a toxic marriage. Like, I don't get why she wants marriage so bad.
Mainly, I think because, as I said, she's another one that's traumatized being a victim of her environment, not having both parents in the household and her dad not wanting anything to do with her or not even wanting a relationship with her. I think she's really a victim of that circumstance. So I think in her mind, if she, breaks the chain, breaks the cycle, then she'll be able to fulfill that little girl who just wants her dad. And to me, that's going about it the wrong way because I'm getting to a
Mhm.
point where I don't even think it's necessary anymore to get married. So it's like, you
It's
know,
not. You gotta really love the person or like have like a situation. Like if I don't got no friends, no family in a state or something, like I can understand why someone would want to get married in that situation, but it gotta be to the right person. And I agree with Love's comment that you need to be whole before you get married. Or if
absolutely.
you're not whole, you need to be willing to grow and always working on yourself.
Yes.
Otherwise it won't work. I forgot to say, y'all, tap into Alicia TV. She is in the link. She's one of the links to the description of this video. She's a great creator. She just had a birthday, so tell her happy belated
Happy
birthday.
belated.
She joined us on a couple of reviews for this season as well. Tap into her channel. We love Alicia to pieces over
Yes,
here.
we do. Hey,
Support her.
friend. Miss you.
I saw a clip of him with his Stevie Wonder inspired braids and beads. Mrs. AKA. I cannot. That's exactly what it is, Alicia. She wants male validation so bad. And listen, men, they're good for a lot of things. I don't need no man to validate me, but some people do.
When you really understand, like, that when it comes to validation, when you need another person to validate you, it just goes to show that there's more work to be done because that will never happen, at least not in the way you think it. I think a lot of people do good with reassuring you, and I think people confuse that. People reassure you, that's not validation. Nobody really could ever validate you, even if they so choose you. That's just reassuring that they want to be with you. They enjoy your time. They enjoy your harmony. They enjoy your peace. And they want to be able to share that with you. But the problem is that a lot of people confuse that as validation. And that's not what that is.
I think because it's kind of is validation, it's just validating in a different way. Uh,
Yeah.
because people can make you feel validated, and when you feel validated, the things that you described are what comes with that. But I think people mix it up and put too much pressure into somebody
Yes.
else making them feel that way, when you have to also be able to fulfill yourself and have
You have to
joy.
do those things. Yes, exactly. You have to do those things for you. You can't do those things for everybody else. It just doesn't work that way. Unless
It's
you're raising your children. That's different. Unless you're raising children, yes, validate your children.
Yeah, she needs to speak life into herself.
Oh, absolutely. Because
Yeah.
to me, Bella Jolie, if I'm being honest with you, sweetheart, you selling yourself short by even being in
Yep.
this experience. You
Yep.
are extremely beautiful, no matter what that man tried to play in your face and say. You are extremely beautiful, and you can really have the top of the line. I always go back to that girl that married that basketball player that was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood that dated Lil Fizz. She just celebrated 10 years of marriage with that basketball player. And Lil Fizz, I remember, played in her face and called her an appetizer instead of a main course. Y'all remember that?
Yep.
So I
Yep.
always say, don't let these little foolish little boys ruin your self esteem and ruin you to a point where now you're bitter. Like, no, rise above it. You gonna find you somebody, and
Mhm.
it's going to be a way better. Because look at Lil Fizz now; he back in the boy band that should have been disbanded 20 years ago. Oh, actually, well, it was. Now they're trying to bring it back.
They
No
are
hate
trying to bring it
intended,
back.
just making a point.
And now nobody respect him either, because he's supposed
Right.
to steal your girl in real life. Um, Nikki and Shad, y'all, the Hot Mess Express. We get to them on decision day. I'm over this relationship. She read a letter. Listen, and I still I rise. Courtney, please.
Love me some Stacy.
Oh Lord. Now, Nikki and Sean's decision day stressed me out, made my motherfucking teeth itch. I'm tired of these people. They both talk like they're in board meetings. They both have egos. I think that Nikki is just able to listen and correct and take feedback. Sean is incapable of that, and he needs feedback the most. Now, she read a letter explaining how off balanced, essentially, because I'm not going over every little thing in the letter, but her letter essentially told him that she has felt off balance while with him. She has not felt like herself. She's felt stressed out, and she feels like it did force her to grow, but she should not have had to feel off balance. Your marriage, your relationship should never make you feel off balance. That means they're not for you, and we need to not ignore these things and listen to them. Now, he spoke, and he was pretty much just defensive versus giving points of what he wanted to say. And I feel like she wrote that letter so that they wouldn't get sidetracked, because it seems like as soon as one of them says something the other doesn't like, that they have to step in, defend themselves, and then it causes this argument. She ended up interrupting him speaking, which I was glad, because he was saying a whole bunch of nothing and making moot points. And she explained to Sean that what it is you seem to see emotion as a flaw, which I do agree with Nikki there. I feel like he sees any emotion that does not serve him or that is not positive toward him as a flaw, or like something's wrong with somebody else. And now we're starting to understand why Sean has been single for so long and why nobody wants to sleep with him. And I'm not trying to be mean, but he almost comes across as predatory. And then in addition to that, he also comes across as narcissistic and selfish. And he's one of those people who went to college who thinks, I'm this black man. I've put doctor before my name, because he made sure to tell us in almost every confessional when we was first meeting him. And he just makes it seems like one of those people who's allowed his education and his intellect to become his identity. And when people do that, that shit to me comes off as like uppity, rude, condescending, like everything negative about him. I just don't like how he moves. And he condescendingly said to Nikki that I haven't cut you off, but you're gonna cut me off. And then she was like, well, I'm just trying to, and he's like laughing condescendingly. And I'm like, Sean, do that with a girl in the Bay Area or New York. Go ahead. Go ahead, because the way most women would have read you down and read you your rights, the way that you have acted towards her, you act like you are just the highest of the high. You're a Mercedes, the AMG engine. Sir, when the reality of it is, that you ain't nothing but a Ford Taurus 2002, the ones that was found on the road unalive. Like, I cannot stand Sean. I just can't. And he says that he feels like Nikki has insulted his intelligence and his EQ, and looks at her and says, honey, I'd like to remind you that you are not a therapist. I did not need an evaluation. That's your response to someone saying to you that their only problem with you is that you need to be more accountable. But you didn't like that you were told to be accountable. So now you got to say that she's not a therapist and don't need to evaluate you. And you're a doctor, but you're not a doctor of psychology. You're not a doctor of counseling. You're not a doctor of anything that has to do with being able to assess people and give the advice that you gave, sir. But you've been issuing out advice constantly. That's why your motherfucking bitch ass is unemployed as it is now. And you better hope people forget about this season, because anybody that hires you with your degree looks stupid, because the lack of ethics, empathy, and sense that Sean had, he's not hireable in the world of in the world or the realm of people who are educated. He is not hireable. He's a bad hire. He's a controversial hire, and he's problematic. And I feel like he's the type of black person that might say, oh, it's harder because of my race. No, you're the problem. This has nothing to do with black people. You are just a joke of a man, if we're being entirely honest. But she chose to divorce him, and he's like, well, I'm also, sir, you got dumped first. We don't care if you're breaking up with Nikki, because in real life, I feel like his decision was going to be based off of what she said. Because let's call a spade a spade. If he was getting play and had game and could pull a woman, he wouldn't be on Married at First Sight. Now, I know the other men are on here, and they're problematic as well, but I feel like they at least know how to pull a woman. Sean has no game, no riz. He don't dress well. His eyes is saggy, and he got bags under there that look like they've been there for 40 years. He's not cute. He doesn't fucking shower. He's against soap. And now he's unemployed. Fuck you and your couch, Sean. That's how I feel. But I am glad that she dumped him, and I'm going to be nice to him now. How did you feel about their breakup?
I'm gonna keep it short and simple. Nikki, you should have just walked on that balcony and say, I'm not choosing you, and we getting a divorce. Goodbye. Have a nice day. And walk
Yeah.
right back out. I wouldn't even have wasted my time reading that long ass monologue, trying to get him to still see your point of view. He's never going to see it. So all you had to do was walk on that balcony. Hi, how you doing? Goodbye. This is we getting a divorce. I will send you the papers. Goodbye, and you have a great day. And I would have walked my ass right out. I didn't got time. I don't have time. I just don't, because men like that don't deserve your explanation. They don't deserve your, your time. They don't deserve the effort, because if we're really being real, Nikki gave this marriage everything she had, and he
Yep.
still found a way to demean, disrespect, regardless of however she may have came off in the beginning, because she wasn't physically attracted to you. That is her right.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't meet you and decide to pick you, marry you, and just to say how disgusted she was with your presence. She didn't do that. They matched her with you, and she was disappointed, which she had every right to be. So, Nikki, I'm sorry. As much as I love you, because I do, you my favorite on here, I wouldn't have did all that. Hello, we're getting a divorce. Goodbye.
Honestly, that's the smartest thing, because the way that he is, if you've learned that he's going to argue everything and views accountability and feedback is something negative, what is the point in wasting your voice? So James is correct. The best thing you could have done is to walk away from him. But instead she chose, as Alicia said, to do this letter, which made it feel like HR. And I think she did that because regardless of what, they both have something in common, and that's egos that are too big. And I feel like her ego wouldn't let her walk away without saying her piece. But Sean is vile. I'm going to just say this. Married at First Sight production, I'm calling you out, as well as these whack-ass experts, because if a woman says no, let's have a talk about consent. If a woman says no, or makes it very clear multiple times throughout the experience that she is not interested in sex, she wants to get to know other parts of him and build an emotional connection and other connections ahead of sex, and she's not comfortable with that, and you watch this man pressure her when he thinks the big cameras aren't around constantly for sex, somebody should have pulled his bitch ass aside and explained, this is getting a little inappropriate. because it is their job to act as HR for these people on the show. Instead, they allowed this woman to be pressured for sex, which to me sent a message that was confusing to the audience, saying, yes, get consent, but also keep pressuring people. If somebody says no, no means fucking no. And especially if she hasn't given you a permanent no, but says she just wants to get through this experience before having sex, he spent more time trying to get in between Nikki's legs than he did with getting to know her. He pressured her into everything. And I feel like he thinks that sex is just going to fix it. And I feel like he might have done this show thinking he could get some pussy out of it, if I'm being honest. But, oh, because he can't get it nowhere else. Sean always talks and says nothing. He does. He really does.
Mm-hmm.
Sean needs Jesus and a therapist.
Agreed.
And a psychiatrist. And maybe a straitjacket. That's why he got fired. That's right, AB. That's exactly why he got fired. Hey, Kiwan. I just did a Beauty and Black Live with Kiwan. Please tap in. Please tap into those reviews. You can watch it on her channel as well as mine. And she's in the description of this video. I haven't watched this season, but I will never forget Sean as baby wipe me down. Funky balls. Girl, his balls is past funky because he's only, as my husband said, he ignored the entire lower quadrant of his body. He didn't wipe down his balls or none of that, but then he wanted to have his man part out to show us that Nikki and him did some stuff. And I'm like, he's just vile. He's awful, but I'm going to be nice. He was trying to be a therapist to her because he thinks that because he has doctor in front of his name, that gives him the right to tell people stuff. No, even therapists don't give advice the way Sean would. I can't stand him. Not read him his rights. Not monologue.
It
Lord.
was. I was like, girl, put that away. Because ain't nobody, he don't deserve all that. Nobody care about that. Just say you ain't choosing him and that's what it is.
Because Sean listens to respond, not to hear you.
And like I said, listen, Peacock would just have to sue me. Because y'all not finna play in my face. I'll file a grievance downtown. I ain't got time for y'all. Come on. Because I'm ready. Because y'all not finna.
Didn't fetch Courtney.
It didn't. And see, and that's why I said Nikki better than me. They would just have to sue me. And I will file a grievance downtown and countersue them for wasting my time and putting me in dangerous predicaments. Absolutely.
Go call somebody uncle or cousin to pop up. The way Sean was, ooh, if my family would have seen me go through what Nikki went through, the way they would have been in Seattle. Okay.
They better be glad to see this gets revealed a year later, because when I tell you, there's no way, absolutely no way.
Can't stand it. But we'll come back and read Sean later, some more. We go read him a lot.
Oh,
Adam and Marissa, they have a talk. She read a letter also, says that she loves him. He was like, "Aw, well said." That told you all you need to know. But okay. And he told Marissa she's a vibe and a half. I don't know why he's trying to make vibes and cooked. This man is my age. There's no reason you should be speaking like that. If you were born after 1997, fine. Use terms like vibe and cooked. But other than that, it just looks like you're trying to keep up with the young people and keep up with the Joneses, and it comes off as corny, Adam, but I digress. Now, she did talk to him about concerns about her emotions and her feeling like she's not enough because she's not an athlete. And I was surprised that he received the feedback well, and he did actually admit to having some sort and some form of an addictive personality, which is very clear. But honestly, narcissists are fully aware of how they are. They just don't care. That's the thing. They just don't care. They're aware of how they come off. They're aware of how they are, but they don't give a damn. They're more concerned with themselves. And he told Marissa that she checked all of the boxes, but he was still looking for something wrong with her. And she responds that she feels written off because of one bad day. And he mentioned the comments that she made about nightlife and how it wasn't just that one bad day for him. He's making it seem like all the crap he complained about in the beginning, such as her drinking, her going out with friends, he's acting like that's problematic. But y'all met in a club prior to this experiment ever happening. And it sounds like Adam beat out at parties and in clubs, because we know in the reunion, she was giving us examples of places they've seen each other since, and it's always in a club or party environment. So for someone that judged this woman because she drinks, you sure do put yourself in environments where people are drinking quite often. So why is it okay to put yourself in those environments but not okay for her to drink? It's given that Adam just wants a woman that's going to do what he says and get with the program, which we know he found, we'll discuss later, versus a woman that's going to hold him accountable and be different. Like, just because Marissa likes to go out with her friends often doesn't mean Adam has to. You can have separate lives while also blending your lives in a relationship. But she ended up saying her true feelings. She said that she messed up and made a mistake by not expressing her true feelings, and admits to feeling lonely in the marriage and feeling miserable. And she says that she realized he is unable to compromise, which he did not like, and she ended the relationship. He gifted her an ice cream maker, which I think he gifted her so that he could still keep like a way to connect to her. But I was glad she broke up with him. I don't take Adam serious. I'm not surprised this couple broke up, but I am glad that they went through the experience in a way that I'm okay with, whether you make it or don't. Even though he was looking for what he was looking for with Marissa and was doing too much and she didn't speak up enough, I respect the fact that they did try to discuss hard things. They did discuss stuff in therapy. They did do the experiment from beginning to end. And I will say this, regardless of how I feel about Adam, I can't say he and Marissa both tried, but he's a piece of work. But how'd you feel about them?
Smart decision on her part because I was worried about her. She was one of the ones I was actually worried about. In the sense of, I really thought she was going to say yes. I really, in my mind and in my spirit, when I was watching this, I really thought she was going to say yes. And that would have broke my heart because I need her to understand that you matter as well. Like, you matter, your feelings matters, your needs and wants matter just as much as his do. So I really felt like, oh my gosh, she's gonna say yes and put herself through torment. Maybe not for a long time, but for some time. And I feel like that's not something you need to be doing. I feel like you definitely need to go find you and never allow a man to shrink you just because he feels his needs and wants are more important than yours. So I'm glad that she said no, and I'm glad that they are over. I didn't care about his tears. I didn't care about that crying. I didn't care about none of that. Because to me, it felt disingenuous when, this relationship could have played out differently and maybe y'all could have had a happily ever after.
True. That's true. But I don't know why these people was crying. I'm like, y'all act like you were together for months and months, y'all, please.
Playing, acting.
Oh Lord, not your people would have moved furniture, okay? Can't stand Sean. Adam, go vibe off a cliff. Oh, maybe.
No, we just need him to get some more people skills, better people skills than what he has. He clearly does not have them.
He probably won the pickleball, kind of pickleball. Wonder why he puts himself in those environments if he doesn't want anything serious.
No, he wants something serious. He just wants it to go his way.
He's spoiled.
He's spoiled. Yeah, exactly. He does not, he wants a marriage, but he wants Fred Flintstone and Wilma. Fred made all the decisions, made all the money, did exactly what he wanted to do. Meanwhile, Wilma over there cooking dinosaurs and shit. That's what he wanted.
I agree with AB's comment. We're going to discuss it tomorrow. I'm having Thy Best Buzz live. It'll be my new little pop culture topics lives because I tend to cover shows where people act the fool off camera. But we'll be discussing Adam tomorrow on that because he does not have money the way that he made it seem like he does on the show.
And I said this.
Yeah.
I said
I think
this.
it's clear, though. I think all of us have kind of noticed that just off of the simple fact that one, it's not a lot of money to finance a jet ski. Two, he lives on a lake house, but he's in like the in-law unit of the property. Three, the broken disco ball, all of those things broken, Gibbs, you didn't get rid of it because you don't have a means to replace it, which is okay. But don't come on TV doing the Sheree Whitfield perpetrating and stuff. I'm so tired.
Acting like you have all this money and all this thing. Meanwhile, you live on a cottage that don't have a roof, that you have a tarp on. Like, you
Exactly.
literally bought a boat dock and then built a cottage on top of it. Like, that's
Literally.
crazy. Like, who does that?
With knives, hanging from the roof like
Right.
somebody want to
Like,
sleep under that.
and
Sir,
then you better
please.
thank God they didn't really go in your house and show us what you really was looking like. Because the way Marissa explained it, wow. That's all I have to say.
Child. Now, Michelle and Cameron stay together and exchange I love yous. That's it, and that's all. I'm happy they found love, but they're boring. Um, yeah. I'm gonna give the floor to James. Maybe he wants to add something.
I'm happy for them. Congratulations. I wish you guys all the best of luck. I really do, because I know it's hard out there. I'm glad that y'all are relocating to me and Amina's hometown. That is awesome. Everything. Congratulations to you, Cameron, for booking that coaching job. But on the flip side of my pleasantries and nicety, I don't think you guys will last.
Um, I
I don't
think
think
they'll last.
I don't see it. I
I don't know.
think it's
You
cute.
think
I
you
think it's
also
cute for
thought he
now.
was gay in the beginning, so
I
I
still
don't
think
know.
it. I still think
I,
it.
I don't see that at all.
I still think it.
I just don't. But I do think that they'll last because I do feel like they both got into this experiment for the right reasons compared to everyone else who seemed to be looking for more just a relationship over marriage.
I can agree with
We're
that.
okay. But I do think that they both wanted this to work. I don't see any gayness in Cameron. Uh, but I also feel like the only reason that they would work, you'd be wrong about that a lot though, James.
Well, I wasn't
Sometimes
born this way. I wasn't natural. This is something I chose to do. I think it
that's
works
you though. We
differently.
have to remember every individual is different. I just don't see it for him, especially at his age. I feel like he would have gone for that. But what I will say is if they
Girl.
do work, I feel like it'll be primarily because of Michelle, because she does give someone that's more, what's the term? I'll say agreeable.
No, here's the thing. She goes along to get along all the time. I do think that she makes more compromises on herself. Something that Sean said, I do agree with. I do think she compromises her being and her wellness. And to me, that can get old. And that's where I'm
Yeah.
coming off the strength of I don't think they'll last, because that's going to get old eventually. And the thing that he did, which we'll talk about in the reunion, is that I kind of do think he does do a little tit for tat. I do think he does that. And that's
With her?
where, yeah, I do see it. I don't think he does it in a way where it's shown on camera, but I can kind of see there's something he's at the reunion that kind of made me feel like, oh, okay, I see what you just did.
Hmm. It reminds me of the black dude that lied to his major wife about his pay. I remember.
Oh
Lord,
wow, oh wow.
Lord.
Why would we do that? That could
People
be
lie about
that could be
pay.
research though. When you okay, never mind, never mind, never mind.
People lie about pay all the time.
But that could be never mind.
All the time. You got to care to research it though.
Oh, I because I will. That's why I'm saying like that could be when you get married. You can actually go and find out. Backtrack some years and actually see what it is.
Sometimes I don't think people understand how marriage fully works. You can, but you can't. Because jobs still be it's weird. But if somebody want to dig deep, they'll figure it out.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
tap in, Alicia. We are gonna get into the reunion, y'all. Now she did. She did do research. He typed up fake letters.
Yeah,
I
that's
believe
what I'm
it.
saying. You could do that could be research. That's why I'm like,
Why are
why
you
lie about?
lying
Why lie
about your
about that?
pay,
That's
bro?
something so stupid to lie about.
Because they're
Like,
gonna figure it out even without the
yes.
research. Because if you say you pay a certain, make a certain amount of money, and then it comes to, oh, I can't afford this vacation or I can't afford this bill, I'm gonna be like, well, you told me you make this much. Why can't you afford it? What's really going on?
Yeah.
But we're gonna get into the reunion, y'all. That was really it. Michelle and Cameron are the first update. They are still together. He is now a coach at CSUEB, that is Cal State University East Bay.
Woo
It
woo.
is a school in Hayward. Not sure where they're living, but they're probably living in Union City
Most
if they want
likely.
to live near Michelle's people. And if they want to get a good mix, then they're likely living in Hayward or San Leandro or San Francisco, because a lot of people move out here and go there for
I
some
don't think
reason.
they do. I feel like they did. They probably up in there in Fairview somewhere.
Hmm.
Up in there, with them hills, and they
It's
find a
nice
nice
up
little.
there.
It is nice up there. That's why I say I see
Really
them
nice.
because you can get you a nice little house for a good ducat.
Not you skip through the Cam and Michelle. You wasn't missing nothing. It's like they just kind of agreed to be together, and that's all we really got. And at the reunion, they talked too much for me. But I'm finna get to that. They talked too much. Now, They're still together. They moved to the Bay. Shout out to the Yay area, Yee. He did propose to her, which I actually appreciated because I feel like just because you go through this experience, some people want the traditional, proposal. Some people want that. I don't see the problem with doing that, especially if you get married in an unconventional way or like younger. Celebrate later. I think people put too much on weddings, and you notice the people who care so much about a wedding always end up divorced. I am the example of that meme. Them courthouse weddings, okay? They be together and working and non-toxic, but then people who go and have a wedding and make you show up and buy your bridesmaid's dress and all of that, they never work.
They
I
don't.
think I've been to one wedding where they had a big wedding and they're still together, and it is my dad and my stepmom. Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, the bigger the wedding, I noticed it don't work because you don't want to start your relationship
Now,
in
what I
that.
will say, that ring was very, very beautiful, Cam. I have to give it to you. I don't give you much on this, but that ring was absolutely beautiful. I definitely have to give credit where credit is due. Michelle, you better keep that ring up, baby. I wouldn't take that off for nothing.
She said, I'm not taking off the
I'm not taking
ring.
out that ring. That ring was beautiful.
Hi, hi, hi. Now, I got pissed off with Paul, the expert, because we learned that the tables have turned. Michelle was laid off from her job after the show, and she's found a new job. But Paul was like, haha, the tables have turned. You were so concerned about income, and now Michelle's unemployed. Michelle's unemployed. I'm like, sit your clown ass back. You don't even know how to fuck the coach right. Can't stand Paul. Now, in the beginning, I had hope for Paul, but I feel like he got on people too hard. And I feel like these experts did not hold people accountable when they needed to be held accountable or how they needed to be held accountable. And I'm going to give Dr. Paz a pass because the way that you're trained when it comes to going to school for that is different from what life coaches learn. That's why there's a difference between a life coach and anyone who is a doctorate in psychology or is a therapist. Paul is able to get more gritty being a life coach. Think of a Yanla and Fix My Life. Like, he can do that. He's literally licensed to. But I feel like he was just cringy. And obviously his wife is a super fan of the show, which is fine, but I don't really give a damn about what your wife felt about the show. How about you work harder to hold the people accountable, Paul, so that they can have a wife that they've been with for 20 years like you. That's what you should just be doing. But I'm gonna let that go. Now, Michelle made it clear too. She's like, I have a job now. Like, don't be out here talking about, oh, she's unemployed. One thing about the Bay Area, if you don't have a job, you're fucking lazy. There's lots of them out here and they all pay well. They pay $32 an hour at Panda Express to cook some goddamn broccoli on the walk. Okay? So you can find a job out here without a problem. You can. Now, they discussed Sean's problem with Michelle, which it wasn't really a problem. It was his opinion about Michelle and how she is with the dating. And, Michelle kind of issued her opinion. She's like, I can understand, how you feel and why you said what you said. But she also explained that she was just trying to compromise what you're supposed to do in a relationship. You should try. Even if the person is toxic, you won't know how toxic they are if you're not trying to make it work. I will never fault anyone on TV or my friends for trying in a relationship. Now, after so long, we need to cut that off. But I don't think it's right to fault her fully for that. And Sean didn't like that Michelle spoke back to him. And he said, again, condescendingly, well, at 50 years old, I don't take things to heart that people say.
Sure you
What
do.
does your age have to do with anything? Because I know some 50-year-olds that think like they 22. So what Sean do? Why would you throw your age in her face? I feel like that was him trying to humble her and kind of trying to get her to shut down and be quiet and not give an opinion. He was also trying to make her opinion less valid. But he says and ends it with, but I'm always pro-marriage. No, you're not pro-marriage. Someone that's pro-marriage isn't going to use terms like wifely duties, even if their wife is doing it and they have that explanation. Somebody who is pro-marriage is going to listen and not call people out and say that they're trying to be an HR person or a therapist. Like, people that value marriage do not pressure their partner for sex. They have conversations about things like affection and sex, but they're not going to pressure them or hear no and then keep trying to get that no to become a yes. Like, Sean doesn't value marriage worth a damn. He doesn't fucking understand marriage. And I have a feeling it's because of his family. the way he described his family was they are church going people. They value marriage, all of these things. And one thing I've noticed is the people who come from the biggest families, the closest families, or families in the church don't always end up in the relationships that they see growing up. So I feel like that's what that is. But Nikki called out Sean and told him to own it. And people clapped and he got real quiet. But I don't know. How did you feel about Sean and Michelle's exchange and him bringing up his age to her?
For me, it was more so. I don't know. I feel two ways because once I agreed with what he said, I do think she did do that, but I think he was trying to say it in a way where it would be a diss towards Cameron, and I didn't like that because I kind of felt like to me she still chose him regardless. So you may have been right in what you were saying, and that she did say that I do want someone who is equally yoked in me. I do want that, but if I'm not going to get that, then he can have other attributes that are just as important. That's also what she said. So even though he is right, she still said, well, he can have other things and then I'll be willing to compromise, which is what you're supposed to do. So I felt like to me, you're sour because your situation didn't work and you didn't think that Cameron being inexperienced would work. That's what it really comes down to. So I didn't like that at all. I kind of felt like, Sean, you're a hater. You're a hater. And I think that in the midst of it, you were trying to demean her and made her seem like she was contradicting herself in her own marriage, which I did not like.
He pulled
Sometimes, yeah.
what he pulled on Nikki on Michelle. And
Hmm.
that just shows you how he treats women.
Exactly. That just shows that you do care what people think because you tried to explain away versus saying, yeah, I said it and I still feel that way.
Oh no, he care what
Congratulations.
people think. Because one thing I will say at the reunion, Sean, you lost that weight
You sure did.
crying over her touching your stomach, but you came back and you lost that weight. You still unattractive, but you
Hmm.
now are unattractive and thinner.
And let me get into Paul. And this is where, yeah, because thank you, Alicia, because you just reminded me. I wanted to touch on that too. I didn't like Paul did that either. And what I didn't like about Cameron is that he was also championing that statement. I did not like that because to me, even if Michelle was down for 6 months, she still bounced back and got her another job that probably still pays more than yours does. But she let you have the spotlight, which Michelle never do that again, sweetie. Never do that again. If a man got you messed up, I don't care. If anybody got you messed up, you better stick up for yourself.
She did stick up for herself. I just think she's more timid in a certain
Yes.
way. She should have done more and called out the experts as Nikki kind of did. But I
Hmm.
will say this, you're supposed to be an expert at marriage and you a husband. How about the fact that you could get with your partner while they're making 150,000 a year and they may end up laid off? That's something that
Yes.
is realistic, especially because we're led by a buffoon as a president. And so we have the worst economy we've ever had. People are losing jobs left and right. And I feel like it could have been an opportunity for Paul to make like a message for everybody about marriage, like, and
Yep.
this is what marriage is. Sometimes I've had to have it and handle the finances, and then other times Mr. Best, and then there's times we do it together and collaborate. But like, people have to, I feel like that's why a lot of people are single, no shade. Everybody's putting too much into one, aesthetics. I think that's holding a lot of single people back. And then two, income. I do think
Yep.
it's important for someone to match like your work ethic, but be realistic. Someone may not be able to keep the same job. Someone may end up like James, who got injured at work, and then you can't work or your income lessens because you're dealing with workers' compensation. Like, there's a lot of things that can happen in a relationship. And Paul could have used Michelle losing her job as a way to highlight that this just proves that there's more strength in their marriage because Cam took over and was like, listen, I know we just married at first sight and I ain't known you for much more than a year, but he still had her back. And that's what should happen. Instead, Paul want to come at her and make Cam look like the man, which gave slightly misogynistic.
Yep.
I don't want Paul back as an expert. Alicia says Cam is just boring and inexperienced. Yes, I don't see gay at all, but I do think he is boring. He's severely inexperienced with dating, doesn't know what he's doing, but I do think he has some type of respect for women.
I think he has
Maddie,
a lot of respect for women. I do. I think he has a lot of respect. And
it
that's
looks
one
like
thing I
there's a
will
lot of
give him.
women in his family.
Yeah, I think he,
That
yeah. And
helps.
that's usually how that goes. They have a lot more respect and they're not going to be misogynistic and point out the one flaw that, would have put her in harm's way. But anybody could lose their job. Anybody can go through that. That shit pissed me off. I was like, wow, how dare you? And Cameron, you supposed to say, I got her. Don't matter if she lost her job. I got her. Instead of
They
just
look
laughing at
uncomfortable. I felt like his laugh was like a nervous laugh, and Michelle looked mad, but then like you could tell she collected herself and was like, "I have a job."
I would have just looked at it. Trust me, I wouldn't have been able to hide that if it were me. I wouldn't be able to hide that at all. Because how dare
I
you?
wouldn't either. I would have read the expert for Phil.
For me too.
Sean is like Adam, they can't stand criticism. That's common in narcissists. That's
Yeah,
very common.
absolutely. They're the same apple, just different cups.
Lord help us. They said that he was trying to say his wife because people thought he was gay.
I still think he is. I don't care, Paul. I'm talking about Paul, not Cameron. Paul. I still think
Oh,
he is.
Paul?
Yeah, yeah.
People think Paul is gay?
Hmm.
I could see that.
I've read that. I've read what was a blogger somewhere saying that they think he is, and that his wife is his beard, but that's allegedly.
I don't know much about Paul in terms of I haven't seen much on him, just on the like people on the show. But what I will say, I can see that with how he moves, and I don't want him back as an expert. I don't
Me
know if
either.
I want him as a life coach. We could have kept Dr. Pepper if this was the case.
Okay.
The age thing was dumb because at 50 you are not living in your truth. Say it louder, Alicia. At 50 years old, Sean is definitely. I thought Sean was gay the first half of the season. Now I've just learned that he's dirty. Probably smells like a wet dog that's been playing in mud for a week. Like, I don't know. Can't stand him. Cameron gave her a new ring. Right. I like them together. I'm all for a success story. I think the ring shows that outside of the show, he wanted to do something for them instead of having their whole relationship connect to the show. And I'm not going to go over it at the end, but I loved seeing their first half of marriage. My dad's advice to me when I got married, he was like, I'm mad that you did it without me there, but he said, always make sure to have fun with your spouse. He talked to me about where he thinks himself and my mom went wrong in their marriage, and he's always been like giving those advice. And it looks like Cam and Michelle are having fun with your spouse, and that's important. I should be able to have a conversation and have fun with my man while we're just at home doing nothing. Like, it should be like that. And if it's not, then it's probably not gonna work. He don't like women. That's why Nikki told Sean to stand in what he said. Yep. Can't stand Sean. Can't stand him. Who is next? Now we're gonna move to Mecca and Belle Jolie. Belle is done, and she's mad as hell at the Dream Girl comment that Mecca made. Which, listen, I love you, Belle, but I'm gonna hold you accountable where I hold you accountable. Girl, bye. Too little, too late. You came on here thinking you were a moment, and you did look good, but your moment fell flat because you obviously had all of these feelings before, but you stayed in a relationship with a man who was demeaning you, belittling you, trying to humble you. You stayed in a relationship with a man that you also lacked attraction to and questioned his sexuality based on his nails. You stayed in a relationship with a man who flirted with someone in the experience right in front of your face and with other people's face. I don't respect her for coming and just now saying nothing. I'm glad she walked away from him, but I don't like that she went and fucking defended him for so long. The only way I'm gonna defend someone is if they respect me. You give me respect, I'll defend you. If you don't give me the respect, I'm giving you nothing. So I didn't understand that, but he tried to say that Michelle delivered the message about what's her face not being Mecca's dream girl incorrectly. I said, why is it blame Michelle and Cameron on everything day? Why is it that? I said, because I just felt like everyone kept trying to blame stuff on other things. And we learned that they broke up 3 weeks after the cameras went down. That was fast. I mean, they to the breakup. That was really, really fast. And she says, Belle reveals that she wishes she would have left Mecca in Cancun. I kind of agree, even though in Cancun it wasn't quite problematic yet, but the whole show I never got romantic vibes from Becca and Belle. I always got best friend vibes. I don't know, I got best friend vibes, especially how they would show up wearing the same things and whatnot. Like, it just gave best friends, not romantic. And Mecca says that he has not felt animosity at all like this from Belle. And I'm like, you did her dirty. And then we learn that while part of what led to their breakup is that he was flirting with other girls right in front of her face in the club, disrespecting her. And then she connected the fact that the way that he would flirt with girls in the club and the way that he flirted with her to get some is the exact same moves that he put on Caitlyn. So she learned that that's his game, and she essentially was letting us know he's a playboy, fuckboy, whatever you want to call it. And Mecca was like, first he tried to make excuses, and then he tries to take accountability, says he is, claims he's not denied anything that Belle said, and Devin called out and is like, you've been mad defensive. Like, I think people think that because they agree with people, like if you do something to me and you're like, well, you have absolutely every right to feel how you feel. To me, I'm going to feel like that's condescending because now you're telling me I have the right to feel how I feel, but you wasn't thinking about how the fuck I felt when you did what you did. And that's whether you're a friend, a foe, a spouse, or whatever. So I don't, I felt like Devin called out something that made sense. And what does Mecca do? He throws a big ass fit like a crybaby bitch. I don't understand. Is anyone else gonna let me talk? Anyone else want to tell me how shitty of a person I was? My nigga, be mad at yourself for coming off that way. Nobody put a weapon to your head and said, this is what you gonna do on TV. People don't like you because this is how you behaved. And as a black man, you have a responsibility, whether you like a black woman, whether you're with that black woman, whether you're interested in her or not, of protecting each other. That's what I feel like in the black community we need to do more, and we have that responsibility. And instead you downed her and reminded the world that she was not good enough for you. Said that you wanted a thick bitch, but you dating white women who are known to have no thickness. So I feel like Mecca was not honest about anything. Let's call it a spade a spade. Like, metrosexual is a thing. I know the term is not used as much in today's time, but there are some men who do paint their nails. There are some men who do put on makeup and things like that, and they do not consider themselves gay. And that is okay. But how dare you come on here and act like you was just God's gift to women, when the reality is you're just a crybaby fuckboy with mama trauma that you refuse to go get help over, who's too scary to even confront and be honest with your own dad. But you real comfortable getting that Belle Jolie. So I don't understand why he moves how he moves, but I appreciated the men for holding Mecca accountable. That is what I'll say. But how'd you feel?
I agreed with you as well. Belle Jolie did this whole trying to check Mecca way too late in the game. I kind of feel like the moment he played in your face, you should have been got that nipped in the bud. I don't understand why people ignore disrespectful and demeaning behavior and then confront it when it's too late. You've already left him. You've already are done with it. I would have said, moving on, next question. Because I don't want to rehash this. We're done. It's over. I ain't got nothing to say to him. I'm sitting next to him because I agreed to be on this reunion. But I have nothing further, nothing more to say because the way he played in my face, he doesn't get that energy from me anymore. And I feel like that's what she should have did. Now, as far as Mecca, I kind of feel like I agree. He need to go get the mama issues taken care of because the reason why you don't like Belle or black women is because you angry at your mama. A lot of black men are angry at their moms. A lot of them are, and they take it out on a lot of black women a lot of the time because they either do something or portray something that their mother maybe wants or currently does. And instead of you trying to make a correlation and not disrespect, because she can't help how she is, you don't know this lady. You should have just learned how to compartmentalize and say, hey, I need to go get some help because I have this issue. Something you doing, I don't hurt you. Like, you could have easily diffused the situation. And then also, Mecca, you could have also walked away. It's very simple. You could have also walked away. And I know a lot of people want to say the effeminate comment, he paints his nail and he's gay, all that. I don't think that's the reason he's gay. I think his disdain for black women makes him gay. Because I always tell women, I always tell men and people, if you have so much anger and vitriol over a woman you don't even know and you want to demean her, tell her she's not pretty, tell her she's not beautiful, tell her that things that you want to be with her, I don't think you like women.
Preach.
I don't think you like women. That's the reason why I don't think he likes women, is because of that behavior there. It has nothing to do with him painting his fingernails. I can give a fuck about that. It ain't got nothing to do with him having expired ass cornrows. I can give a fuck about that. I mad at how he disrespects and demeans black women. I don't think no black woman deserves that.
Yeah, honestly,
I
his
don't care.
father and his grandmother ought to be ashamed because y'all are responsible for
Absolutely.
making
And
him this way.
yeah, and I blame that father more so than I blame anybody else because he got this from your ass because that's how probably you were and them women left.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Trash. We pick up what our parents do.
Yeah, we sure
Belle
do.
Jolie came for war with the way she painted her eye. I didn't care for her.
Her look was
It was
cheap.
yes.
It
Oh,
was
I didn't want
cheap.
to say it, but it
I'm gonna
did.
say it because it was cheap, and she's so beautiful, and I wish she wouldn't have went this route. I wish she would have came in with something a little bit different. I didn't like the hair. I didn't like the dress. I didn't like anything.
Yeah.
It just I wish y'all would stop going to Nene and them around the corner and getting y'all shit versus
Well, she is a
actually spending.
hairstylist. Maybe she did her own stuff and it just didn't come
It just
out
didn't. Yeah, it just didn't come out
correct.
right. And she's so beautiful. I just don't understand. That made her look angry. She's like a angry ass baby mama sitting there. I was like, girl,
She do look bad as hell, especially with
yeah,
that black around her eyes. Thank you to Q1JTV for the super chat. I do appreciate you, my darling. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I hope you at that spa getting yourself
right.
together. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sorry it took so long, but thank you. Well, let me move to the Bay Child. I need that. Come on. Somebody come. Come on. Just the only thing I tell people, do not move to California as a whole. If you do not have a job already and are not a hard worker. Because when I say I'm adding YouTube to my new stream of income, but I have 2 other streams of income outside of YouTube in addition to a full-time job in healthcare, mental health, okay? It's not a place to just come if you're so lazy, but it is a wonderful place. Please come, Alicia. I would love somebody to live close by. We could drink mocktails together. I stopped drinking recently. Like it's going to be a permanent thing because I just don't care about drinking
So
anymore.
proud of you, friend.
Child, my 20s, I was drunk for the rest of my life. Just in my 20s. The way James had to ship me in the back of his Camaro, okay? One thing I know how to do is drink and make friends.
One thing I know how to do is stay sober and be a parent, and I ain't got no kids.
The
Because
way
what
he
I
threw me and my friend in the back of his car and got us home, and he took us through a drive-through,
yep,
that's a friend. That's it. That's it. That's all. I got hurt at work too. God, it's more common. I'm seeing that people are having injuries at work, but the
yeah,
way
I'm
I
just
pull
a
it
yeah.
off.
I'm in a year recovery, so it's just kind of like I couldn't even do my job anymore. Like I did it for 2 months and was like, I can't do it anymore because like that pain was crazy.
You hurt your knee though. That's one of the most painful parts of the body that
Yes.
a person can
Like and
have.
going up and down the platforms, y'all, like I struggled. Like they were saying, James, you gotta fix a crash. I'm struggling trying to get up and down the stairs. And I'm like, oh my god, they like, oh my
He's
god,
like,
we
I
go.
can't even get here, and it's
You're
because of
right.
y'all. Lord, Mecca is a fuckwit.
Agreed.
I think we all agree he does need therapy, but
He
therapy can't
does.
fix everything. Therapy only work if you're willing to hear what they saying. And the way he got mad at everybody saying he's an awful person, I felt like that was manipulation and
Yep.
childish. People holding you accountable don't make you a bad person. Mecca is a mini Sean in training. The difference is Mecca's actually somewhat attractive. Sean just ain't never, I'm never gonna see
I
it
just
for
feel
him.
like he's never going to, the reason why it's not going to work is because he's still in the environment that causes and allows him to be that way. He has to completely leave his family and get in new environments. And he's not going to be willing to do that because his family pays the bills with the business. He's not going to do it.
I agree. Alicia Bell is male centered. I think Belle is male centered.
Absolutely.
I think Michelle is male centered. Um,
Absolutely.
those are the only 2 I really think are male centered, but that's the only thing that would explain her even dealing with this. Cause she should have been cussing out Caitlyn's bitch ass.
Oh, did you mention that?
I'm about to
Oh, okay. Go
go
ahead.
through the comments.
Okay.
Speak on it. Oh, speak on it. You was thinking about when you wasn't doing it. This is true. Oh, you're still home. That's okay, Kiwan. You'll get there. You'll get there. Uh-oh. What is going on? Oh, yes, he could be metrosexual. That's the word, but he could also be gay. I feel like Mecca's bisexual. I feel like he could go either way.
I
But
just feel
I'm
like he
trying
don't
to
like
be
women.
nice and not out nobody who may not be comfortable coming out or any of that. But if you're going to be comfortable enough to date and disrespect women, then I'm going to say my piece. I'm going to say my piece. Now, Belle did get at Caitlyn because they did discuss the situation with Caitlyn and Devin and Belle and Mecca as it relates to people swapping spouses. And here's the thing. It happened later in the episode, but I'm just going to address it now. Belle said to Caitlyn, you did not defend me against Mecca and how he was treating me, but you claim to be so girl power and girl friendly and about women But when it came to Mecca, who you just loved, you didn't defend me or check him at all from what she saw and what's happened. And she used the comparison of the fact that when Tori was going through it with Felipe, Caitlyn got at Felipe, held him accountable, all of this. But when it came to Mecca, none of that happened. Let me say this. Caitlyn is a Gemini, and Geminis can be hoes, and Geminis can also be two-faced. That is the truth. And the only ones of us that will admit it are the ones who are not. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a fact. But you knew what the fuck you were doing, and you knew that you were breaking girl code doing that. There's no reason you need to pull anyone else's man aside to have a private conversation when their spouse is there. That is disrespectful, not only to that person you view as a friend, but to your actual friend, Belle Jolie, and to the spouse that you were with. Just because you didn't give a fuck about Devin doesn't mean that Belle didn't give a fuck about Mecca and that what you did was okay. And Caitlyn did apologize and says that the scene with Mecca was wrong and she could understand how it looks. And Belle pointed out to her that the same game he ran on her is what he was doing to Caitlyn and other women. And, you know, Devin was like, well, you did try to take my girl. And Mecca didn't even deny it. He sat there smiling because he's a nasty piece of shit who was probably excited that two women are arguing over him. But I just want to say that in real life, if the tables were turned and Belle, a black woman, was to do what Caitlyn did, the internet would be tearing her down. Now, Caitlyn's getting ripped to shreds because of how she treated Devin, but not for what happened with Belle and Mecca. And I just don't like that at all. But I am glad that Belle addressed it because I think Caitlyn was sitting on that couch. If y'all look at her, she was sitting on that couch hoping she didn't catch no strays. But she caught some strays. But how did you feel about that? Because for me, I don't care if we did this show, bitch, you'll never be my friend, and I don't need to trust you or be around you ever.
Oh, I'm sorry, Frank. No, what I was gonna say was I think she didn't go hard enough on her because there was more disrespect than, you know, initial like trying to check him on or trying to coddle his little feelings. She was flirting. Let's call a spade a spade. She was flirting outside. Y'all didn't hear it. And this is where I get on y'all. Because you and Devin should have walked y'all asses outside and see what the hell was going on and why they were conversating and so close and touching each other. Y'all should have said something, regardless of what state of mind Devin was in and regardless of where your emotional state was. Y'all should have checked them both at that time. That's why I'm saying y'all cannot be waiting to get y'all licked back way when it doesn't matter anymore. Because in that same breath, as much as you was checking her, Belgially, you also said, "But I love you though. You still my girl, and I love you." It's like no, 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 no. Because if she'll play in your face once, she'll do it again. And the only reason why she complied to say that she was wrong is because there was a camera crew and people online was already getting at her for doing what she did. So
Yep.
you were just icing on the cake that was already baked and ready to go. So I didn't like it. And to me, that would have ended my friendship because I can't trust you. I can't bring my next man around you now. That's how I would feel. But you know, people are different. You know, and I get people like, well, James, sometimes you can forgive because maybe that was just her one mistake, her one flaw. It don't matter. I forgive and give people second chances, but I also put you in a different position in my life once I do forgive you. I don't give you that same title of friend back.
Yeah,
I just don't do that.
that's realistic. I'm in a space now, older, with friends where, like, if people tell me they're going to show up for me and they don't, I'll never forget. We'll never invite them anywhere again because I don't like being played with. If somebody does me dirty,
Hmm.
I'll never forget. I'll never invite them anywhere again. And we could keep going and going. And I think it's okay to do that because not everybody deserves like a crazy response or, you know, going off and doing all the extra stuff. But in the case of Caitlyn, nah, bitch, you flirted with my man on camera. I'm about to tell you about your cell phone camera, okay? So I was happy Belle said something, but I don't see it for Caitlyn. To me, she seems just vile and shallow. Her and
Absolutely.
Courtney. Um,
Absolutely.
Felipe. Felipe admits at the reunion he was too cowardly to be honest with Tori about his feelings and says that he was trying to get her to break up with him. I was happy that he admitted it, but I think that his mama media trained him before coming on this show because his mama still buys his fucking drawers because he's a big ass man child with a fucked up mustache looking like Super Mario's character in real life, just taller. And I just want to say, Felipe, you not all of that. You may be catching girls to sleep with, but there's a reason you're not catching girls that want to stay with you. There's a reason. And it's okay to be a fuckboy. Like, if you want to be promiscuous, whether you're a girl, boy, whatever the hell, like, go do that. But don't go and do that and then make people think that they're in a relationship and like you want more. Like, you're cosplaying someone who wants a marriage, which is a weird thing to cosplay as. Tori told Felipe that he should have never done this show, that he's a child. And they kind of ask him what happened. And Felipe says, towards the end of the marriage, it felt like work. You stupid motherfucker. I don't know what the hell your parents are doing. But for those who do not know, marriage is work. It's work every single day.
Yes.
Now, there are going to be days that you feel like you have clocked in and are actually working a shift. And there are other days, and there should be more of these days, where it's just easy to be with the person. That's how you know you married the right person. Yes, marriage is work, meaning you always have to care. You always have to do the work. However, marriage doesn't need to be this toxic and difficult. When we talk about marriage being work, it may be like, okay, there's days I don't want to be bothered, or days that I could be on YouTube too much. This the best is like, hold on, wait a minute, player, I'm gonna need time. And then I may compromise, and then he may compromise. That's what we mean by work. Or like, if he sees I'm upset, he's gonna ask what's wrong. Or if I see he's uncomfortable, I'm gonna check on him. But Felipe, the fact that you are telling us that you tapped out of your marriage and tried to sabotage it because it's work, when the experts have been telling you since before they even matched you with anybody, because nobody takes you seriously, that marriage is work, and they were concerned of your ability to do the work, is bullshit. Give us another like example or something. Now they go to his mom and the audience clapped for her, and I said, hold your applause.
Right.
Hold your goddamn applause, because she is the reason that he is this way.
Thank
and
you.
His dad is a fucking pushover who just sits there and probably does what she says, because the dad sat there. Didn't understand why we clapped for the mom. I love that she enjoyed Tori, but that lady is problematic and everything wrong with mothers of sons, and what they put into their children is what their children put out into the world. She taught him that a woman is going to do everything for you and accept everything about you.
Yep.
And baby, that is not the truth at all. Now, Felipe was honest and accountable, but I'm kind of like, you could have been honest and accountable at any other moment on the show. Now you're choosing to do that. It just felt disingenuous, and like his mom made him do that, but can't stand him. I'm glad Tori's not giving him a friendship. Felipe, grow up, and you're not going to have a career in politics. He claims that comment about politics was supposed to be a joke, but look at the state of this country right now. Systemic racism is at an all-time high. Jobs are down. You got people in the White House who can't even fucking walk. Okay? Groceries is high. Gas is still high. Like, so you want to compare yourself to the current president and why you wanted to come on reality TV when he's made a lot of people's lives hell. Okay? And it seemed to be a lot of them red states, I'm just saying. But I didn't like the comparison. I felt like it was childish and a joke, and I'm not in a space where I want to joke about politics, even with Felipe. So may he never come on the show again. And I want to get at the experts, because y'all sat up there, let's say hi to Felipe's mom. Y'all should have asked her questions on how she felt about the fact that he was a fucking failure, a disaster. Before we can even get to him being a disaster of a husband, he's a joke of a boyfriend. Okay? He's a joke of a boyfriend. He can't even boyfriend right. And there's levels to this shit. Know how to be a good boyfriend before you get to marriage. So I felt like they could have questioned his parents more and held him more accountable. But I will say I did appreciate how everyone read him for filth up there. And his mom just kind of sat there. I thought she would get defensive and upset, but she did just kind of, sit there and accept what they were saying. But yeah, how'd you feel about Felipe?
The reason why she had to sit there and have egg on her face the way she did is because everybody was right, and that's a reflection of her. So if she would have got up and been defensive, then we would have saw what the real issue is firsthand versus us saying it without saying it. That's number one. Number two, the mama know that Tori was way out of Felipe's league. And she wanted her damnedest to want this shit to work, because that is a huge come up for her son. And justice for Tori. Justice for Tori, because to me, experts, production, y'all played in this lady's face, and I'm still mad about it. I don't think Tori's all that special, like as far as like likable and all that. She was cool. I'm gonna say it like that. She was cool. She had her ways as well that were questionable. But the problem is that she still gave it her all, made an effort, and y'all decided to put her with this old childish ass little boy.
Right. That was
It's like
insulting.
that exact. I was just gonna say that is so insulting. Like if I was Tori, I would be writing a complaint letter because how dare y'all waste my time like this and put me with somebody when he's literally giving y'all red flags and warning signs before y'all even casted him and matched him. He was late to his meetings. He didn't show interest, but y'all still chose to put him with somebody. Like I'm sorry, I was so upset for Tori because to me she's taking this with so much grace, and I wouldn't even have waved and blew a kiss to his mama. I wouldn't even have did that. I would have just said, yeah, she there. Next. Because to me, I no. No, 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 no. Because if you wanted your son in this marriage and you wanted to work, you would have did better and started cutting some shit off when you needed to.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Or
y'all can miss
checked
it with
him on
that.
his treatment of women, because separate from everything, this is no way to talk to a woman. Like,
Exactly.
I have younger brothers. My younger brother's almost 30. When he have his little girlfriends and something went wrong, my mama was like, I'm always on your side, but you need to learn how to talk to this girl. Because I can't blame her. I can't blame her. So I feel like the mom should have definitely checked him more.
Yes.
She should have. I think Alicia's watching like an older part of the playback, because we are past Mecca and Belle. We were discussing Felipe and Tori. Um, but let's get into who is next. I think Adam and Marissa are next. They go at it. He says, this was funny to me because Marissa, we could have had a more entertaining show if you would have been exposed to some of these things. But she made a comment about Adam giving her a struggle meal. And I said, oh, I see where this is going. Now, I'm not mad at a struggle meal. Struggle meals I love. A hot link on a slice of wheat bread with some mayonnaise, some mustard, and some barbecue sauce, okay? I will tear up a struggle meal sometimes. But I was cracking up at her bringing that out about him. And she said that that was the day that they got into it about the pickleball. Now, we are talking about that scene where they did the double date. I think it was with Courtney and them, and they played pickleball. Marissa was not in a good mood on the jet ski. She was not on a good mood then having to play pickleball in the heat. And I can understand that. She said he gave her a struggle meal, which was just some shit that he seemed to have in his refrigerator, instead of taking her out to eat. I get it. You don't want to embarrass this man for not having his money together. But in real life, Marissa, you know you would not have kept dating him if you were getting struggle meals and forced to do things that really don't cost money, like playing pickleball on free pickleball courts or in a club that he could have already paid for his monthly membership for. The jet ski that he already owns, where he does not have to pay to go jet ski on the open bay. Nothing's wrong with not having your finances in order or not being rich. Like, nothing's wrong with that. I feel like sometimes people put too much into it. What is wrong, Marissa, is to hide that from everybody and not tell us the real reason why the pickleball was problematic. And I think we're all sick of pickleball because of this. And the doctors called out Adam because you made it seem, Adam, like you wanted this woman to basically play in Wimbledon, the US Open. You wanted this chick to be able to play in the Super Bowl. You wanted her to be able to play in the World Cup. And you wanted her to do that while she was fucking you, sucking your dick, and cooking you dinner, which is crazy. And the doctors called out the fact, they're like, well, we wouldn't have matched them if Adam would have been honest and told us what he really wanted. And they played back a scene at the beginning where Adam was like, listen, a high lifestyle is important to me, but she doesn't need to like always be into it. I just need her to be willing to play sports with me sometimes. Sometimes turned into him complaining all season about the lifestyle differences based on her not wanting to play pickleball in 90-degree heat off of a struggle meal. Like, experts, I get that y'all trying to defend yourselves because y'all obviously saw that the audience was coming at the experts, because it's your job to recognize that this man is a classic textbook narcissist. And with classic textbook narcissism, people should understand that lying and not telling the full truth comes with that. Because a narcissist is willing to do whatever they can to look like they are the right and that they are not doing anything wrong. And that includes lying. You can't tell these people you want one thing and then ask for another. But at the same time, experts, y'all should have clocked Adam quickly. It was not hard to catch him and how he was. You have to make him break up with another girl. That told you he didn't take the shit seriously at all. But Adam pretty much tries to fight everything that they say. And then Marissa mentions what happened with them after the show. She says that they broke up, but he came by and they agreed to just stay friends. But then she later saw him at a party a couple of days later, and a woman provided her screenshots proving that he cheated on Marissa. And apparently he was already talking to somebody and had stuff planned that was already on dating apps before the experiment ended, which, listen, I don't have a problem with that if you would have made it clear you don't want her, but you didn't do that. Instead, you chose to mosey around and see where it can go. It's given you needed to check, sir. But when he addresses it, he says that he only wanted to be friends. Then she mentions a hickey on his neck. Felipe tried to defend Adam. I said, that don't help. The fact that you want to defend Adam just proves why you were in the situation you were in, Felipe, please. Okay, your defense means nothing. It's not helping him. And Tori asked if Felipe knows that Adam, or not Tori, what is this girl's name? Marissa asked Felipe, after he was defending his boy so hard, are you aware that your homeboy messaged Tori on Hinge? I thought Hinge was for gay men. I thought Grindr was for gay men. I don't know why anybody are going on sites that were originally known and for the gay community. Let them have they sites, because then y'all go on these websites looking for people and then be upset when you date men on the down low. You are on a website that was originally for the gays. I don't know what they have around anymore, but anytime people tell me they meet people on Hinge, I look at them with a side eye unless you're gay. I'm looking at you with a side eye. But Tori's on Hinge, and Adam sent her a message. Now, I don't understand and just want to dig into that. Now, if you would have DM'd her because y'all were on the show together, so I'd assume you would have each other on Instagram. I see them responding to each other. Why not DM her there? Why go DM her on a dating site? What we doing? And why we doing it? And in what order? So I'm looking like, my God, things just did not get better with them. Before I get into who's single and not single, let's stop there. Not Tori should sue for her time being wasted.
I agree.
Alicia says she's entitled to compensation.
Absolutely, she is. At the very least, Peacock, y'all can buy her a new car for having to embarrass herself with her car.
Y'all can get her a new car.
Yeah, y'all can get her, at the very least, get her a new car for having to, entertain this food. Like, y'all could at the very least do that.
Child, James said I need something.
Something.
Hello, Golden 502 was popping. I love this. Your first live with me. Welcome. I can't remember what show I saw that on. But welcome. I'm happy to see you. I appreciate that. James will tell y'all I'm shy. I just be hoping people receive me well because I'm shy with a lethal mouth. And I'm working on it, James. Working on it. Welcome in, Golden. I hope you're having a good day. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. But it doesn't get better with Adam. Marissa's single. I think that's a good sign. If you get out of a relationship and then you jump into another one, that other one you jump into ain't gonna work. Because you have to give yourself time to be single. I feel like that's the universe kind of disrupting stuff for people. But Adam has a girlfriend. And they asked Adam's girlfriend how she felt about watching him on the show and things play out. And she says he's the sweetest guy and that she knows him well. Guess how long they've been together? 90 days. 90 fucking days.
That's very well.
but you know
Very,
each other.
very well. Yeah, that's knowing somebody very, very well, young lady. Go ahead and finish because I got some read for her. So go ahead and finish.
No, I'm just curious. Bitch, you come on this show to watch a man talk about the last bitch he was with. It doesn't occur to you that he may be a red flag because he went on a show called Married at First Sight and treated it like he was just dating at the bar. And then you are upset at the fact that everybody is getting at him. And it sounds like Adam be pillow talking, telling old girl that the show is fake. She was like, I don't know how real this is because of the production. And the expert said, hold on, wait a minute, young lady, because you're not going to come on this platform telling us that it's not real. And Adam, way to ruin a relationship and relationships with other networks, particularly because Peacock is a part of NBC Universal in the Bravo universe, darling. Do y'all understand how many channels they own and how many people they collaborate with? They're not going to want to fucking work with you if you're telling people away from the show that the show is not real. Because we already know that reality TV is not 100% real and they're being produced. But they don't want people to call that out, as she basically broke the fourth wall, forced the experts to have to speak on it. And you have to be careful what people tell you. I don't believe everything that comes out of anybody's mouth. If I don't see proof of it, if I don't know you well enough to know you have a history of doing something or not doing something, then I'm not going to just believe what someone says. Also, I've been with my partner for 17, 18 years in total, 14 years married. And I will say this. I laugh whenever anybody who has been with someone under 3 years says that they know them. You don't. You don't. You don't. I am still learning stuff about a man I have been with since the year 2009. So if I am still learning stuff about him and he is still learning stuff about me, then I am sure that people who are in relationships shorter, regardless of the type or the commitment there, you may think you know them and you may know a piece of a person, but you don't truly know a person. You're always changing, evolving, and growing. So I'm looking at this young lady like, your delusions are grandiose. Okay? They are literally grand delusions that this young lady has. But separate from that, you watch this man not take accountability. He's clearly narcissistic. He's clearly disrespectful. And you've seen that he still be in Tory DMs and trying to be cool with her. Hello? And you still want to defend him? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. 3 months is given 90-day fiance. Call TLC, Adam. I said what I said. But how'd you feel, James?
Young lady, are you in there? Are you in there? Are you okay? Are you fine? Because I hate that you came on this nationally syndicated television network on this very popular show and embarrass the hell out of yourself by trying to defend this fraction of a man. I don't understand what you just did. And the fact that you gonna sit up there and hear his ex-wife, who had to be in his presence for however long they do this experiment for, and her give her experience, and you sit up there and say, well, it's how production made him seem and everything. And it's like, man, everybody on that stage cannot be lying about one person. They've all experienced him, they've all been in his presence. She had to live with him. You have not, you probably don't know 10% of this man. I think he's showing you exactly what he wants to show you. I think he's telling you exactly what you want to hear because, one, you look gullible. Two, you look like you would be willing to, with or without, detriment of him. And two, I get it. He's attractive. So, of course, you're going to get along because I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I'm going to be disrespectful. Man, you ain't no prize. I don't know where he found you from. I don't know where he got you from, but you just made yourself look really stupid. And if I was you, I would duck down under that chair and not be seen on camera anymore. Like, I would just duck down after saying that crazy shit out your mouth. I would just duck down and not say nothing else for the rest of that time that they wouldn't even see me no more. Because that is embarrassing. You just embarrass yourself all at the expense of Adam, who I'm going to promise you, baby, is not deserving of that embarrassment. That's it. That's all. I'm done. I said, wow, the absolute gall and the audacity of you lady, really.
It's
But you
just
gonna
weird. Like if you somebody's everyone's an ex for a reason. And that doesn't
right.
mean that they're just gonna be awful with everyone they date. But I feel like women in general, like don't attack the last person, don't attack the concept of the show. Like it makes no sense. You've been with him for 3 months and you didn't have to live with him. Good luck. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. And are you living at that cottage that has the tarp on it and and the broken disco? Are you living at that cottage with him, ma'am? Is that okay for you? I just want to know. Since he's a great guy and you don't see any depiction of what everybody is saying of him. Are you living at that cottage with him, ma'am? Of course you're not. So don't do that. Let's not do that. Marissa may have her flaws and she may be, on bullshit some of the time, but she has a right to speak to her experience, and that's exactly what she did. And I would be questioning why I was seeing Tori's DMs because it seemed to be interlocked with you. So you might want to ask a question on the good guy that you supposedly have known and you don't think anything of it. You might want to know because Adam tried to shut it down, saying, "Well, we weren't exclusively dating, backpedaling." How'd you feel about that, young lady? So yeah,
Stupid. Just believe
just
everything he said because
believe
3 months
everything. Yeah,
gives you all you need to know about this person.
and you witnessed it on TV like the rest of us,
And we know that he takes a while to open up.
right?
So why are you different? But there's birds everywhere. They're in the sky, they're in trees, they're in
They in,
studio
they're in
audiences.
bushes hidden. They're some lack sustenance and water, and some
He's
don't.
nice because you haven't told him no yet, bitch. She'll learn.
Yep,
She'll learn.
yep.
What's poppin', Miss Sandra? Over to Miss Sandra's channel. I saw she did a
Miss
live with
Sandra.
this as well. And she covers a lot of good shows. We love Sandra. That's my Gen X thug. Stop playing with her. Love Sandra. Get her. She was unhoused. Has to be Sandra.
That was crazy. I was looking at that lady like, oh, you just embarrassed yourself. And I'm telling you, oh,
Dr. Sean, I'll give him that. He is good at observing, but you have to be good at observing and critical thinking to become a doctor of anything. But I love that he questioned that timeline, because if he didn't question that timeline, that girl just would have been up there winning. And it's like, bitch, you're not going to come up here calling our platform fake and all of this. And couldn't stand that lady. Could not. But Adam got him a little bird, and maybe she's pecking his pecker in the right way. I don't know.
child,
Adam
she ain't
says he
doing
could
that.
have sent it with Marissa 5 more years. Sandra, I can't with these men. This was like the worst collection of men ever
On
on
any
Ariana's
show.
site. Like the worst collection of men. And the ones that were good put up with too much. Devin. So it's whew, a mess, a mess. Unfortunately, we have to Alicia said justice for Tori for real. I think Tori and Nikki and Devin got done the worst.
Yes.
Those three got played Married at First Sight, because Marissa, you chose to not say nothing. I don't feel sorry for you. Adam showed you red flags from the moment you met him. But them three, I really feel for them. Now, Courtney says that she was not good at getting to the real Nick. And she says that she wasn't able to give him softness. That's not his fucking problem. That's your problem. It sounds like you don't believe what people tell you because you make up your opinion about something. And then once your opinion's made up, you think your opinion is fucking law. You stupid bitch. That's why you look 38 and you're 28. Stop it. Stop it. Please stop, Courtney. I do not like Courtney. So anybody who's a Courtney fan, I'm going to do the best I can, because James be telling me I be reading people for filth when I don't mean to. And I just can't. Belle, we got it, Belle too, Sandra, because she ignored red flags and came on here like she was doing something. I said, girl, bye. Girl, bye. You ignored red flags and basic attraction because apparently you don't like men with these nails and now you want us to feel sorry for you. No, you stood up too late. Sit your ass down. You took too long. That's how I feel with Belle. But I still love Belle. Nick says that he was authentic and that he naturally thinks before speaking. And she didn't know well to argue that. So she was like, well, maybe I'm an alpha. Bitch, why can't you just say, I'm sorry and I was terrible to you this season and a lot of it had nothing to do with you and showed I need to work on myself. That's all you had to say, Courtney. And I would have clean slate, left her alone. But instead, you made excuses just like Sean. They should have hooked Courtney and Sean up. Okay? That's what they should have done. That's what the hell they should have done. Now, she says she's an alpha, and Nick explains to her he disrespected her. And she was like, I mean, that's just how I am. Okay, you one of the women then who has the ability to provoke a man. And I'm sure that a man has wanted to smack the shit out of you or has in the past, because that's just how you are. So if your friends feel disrespected, Courtney, they just have to accept it because that's how you are. I mean, yes, we have to accept people for who they are, but not when they're disrespecting us. If who you are means that you disrespect me, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you and your mama. That's how I feel. Like,
Because that made no sense at
zero.
all. Like, and I don't want to stick up for Nick like this. I really don't, because he had his flaws and bullshit too.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely. Like, I'm not trying to get at him scot-free, but I feel like, to me, regardless of what he was giving you, you were too much. You did way too much. You did way too much and way too soon. Instead of you just sitting back and letting things play out and opening up and letting him lead to his own being, you chose to get in front of it. And how you did it was the most rudest, condescending, very abrasive way of handling a situation, which is causing him to shut down. And I said this, even though he on bullshit, I feel like even if he wanted to, she was just going to immediately go to her tactics and shut him down to where he doesn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable, or I would have cussed her out. One of the two would have happened.
Chicks who think she's bigger than the program, and I think that's why she started crying later on. Miss Sandra said her new man don't look alpha. Courtney's full of shit. I think what it is with her, I think this lady, I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. I think she's used to getting her way.
Yep.
And I think that she also thinks that she is cuter than she actually is.
Yep.
And she takes that entitled ass fucking attitude and brings it into her friendships, her relationships, everything. And the problem is nobody corrected her, including the experts. The experts should have corrected her, like, well, you were bad with him. You were cruel. And I don't think people understand, like, you don't have to like this man. And she kept talking about how Adam is hot and made it seem like she wanted Adam. And that's just something disrespectful. Like, before Nick even got a chance to do anything wrong, she was talking about Adam's pretty hot. Like, why are you assessing how other men look? So, like, if you didn't want Nick and weren't attracted to him, you should have just said that. I would have respected that, as Nikki said about Sean. But instead, you chose to lust over other men, thinking that you didn't have the best option. And in the beginning, if y'all go back and watch my reviews, the beginning of the season, I was on her side because I felt like maybe she was acting the way she was acting, because he was a red flag, especially with how many TV shows he's been on and having a bunch of gay friends that were originally catfishing him. Like, that to me in itself was a red flag. But it's the way that she handled it that turned her into really the villain of this season. I would say Courtney was worse than Caitlyn, because Caitlyn felt how she felt about Devin, but Caitlyn would kind of shut down and disengage, versus Courtney, who chose to shut down, disengage, disrespect, belittle, tear him down, and then make excuses for it. So I know the internet was upset because they talked to Courtney about Adam, because she made all these comments talk about Adam was the hottest guy and she would have wanted to date him. And he said, girl, I don't want you. He said, I wouldn't want to date her. Absolutely not. She was disrespectful. She doesn't listen. She thinks she knows everything. And he said he would not have lasted even a week with her, and that she got a lot of grace from Nick. And I do appreciate Adam for saying that. See, people find somebody on the show that they don't like, and then they act like everything that they say is unlikable and unrealistic.
Yes.
But you have to separate your bias from what the person is actually saying. And he is correct. The girl was a fucking bitch. She was hard to deal with. She made this man, she gave him trauma. He said that online, and he's been very vocal, and he even got at the experts, which I am glad at Nick for doing, because she would tell him to open up and he would open up, and then she would still get at him and call him fake and interrupt him. Like, if someone is the way that they are, accept them for how they are. Like James is a person who, even if there's an issue, calmer, right? And some people will view that as uppity, stuck up, fake, whatever the fuck. But that's just how he is. Like, not everybody is going to react in the way that you expect them to. Not everybody is going to react the way that you would want them to. It's just not going to happen. I don't like Courtney for that, and I wish that the experts would have told her that. And I don't give a fuck about your tears, bitch. Go lift the weight.
I didn't care
Because
about
what
them tears
about
either.
him? You treated that man like crap for weeks,
You know,
and
I
you
hated.
care
Oh, go
about your
ahead.
tears?
Right. I hate it had to be Adam. Don't get me wrong. I hate it had to be him, but I'm glad somebody did it because you needed to be told that. Because your family sure wasn't going to do it. The family that actually liked Nick when you brought him home, because you thought they was going to be on your side with this, and you
Yep.
was trying to put your sister to plot and try to make him look like he was an issue. And your sister was like, "Ain't nothing wrong with him. What's wrong with you?" Like when your sister said, when your family was like, "I like him" and everything, that told me all I needed to know. You was the
Yep.
fucking problem. That told me everything I needed to know. So I don't care about them tears. Adam is right. You were horrible to that man. And instead of you trying to pick apart and try to place where he went wrong for you to why you did that, it was like, no, you were mean, you were vile, you were deplorable. Stand in it. Don't cry and because Adam, the man you actually had a crush on. And to me, if I was your man in the audience, if that really is your man, I would be looking at you sideways, crying over what he just told you.
Thought it was funny too. That's why I say I think she's bigger than the program and think she cuter than you are. She is. Because you sitting up here, I would have wanted Adam. He's so hot, and he don't even fucking want you because of how you treated this man that you did not feel was good enough. So maybe it'll humble you. Now that's someone who did need to be humbled, is Courtney.
Absolutely. I was
Absolutely
not
needs
mad
to
at
be
that.
humbled.
I was not mad at it at all. I hated it had to be Adam because I was like, okay, well, that's his. But no, it needed to be Adam because she was thrusting over him. It needed to, she needed that rejection. She
Mm-hmm.
needed that rejection, y'all. I get it was harsh, but she needed that because to me, you were trying to use Adam as a place card in front of Nick to get a reaction out of him. And when it backfired on you, now you want to cry. No, that's
Yep.
what you get. I'm not
And
mad at
birds
Adam.
of a feather flock
Yeah.
together. I always say it because I find it interesting that you was plotting on Adam while smiling in Marissa's face the same way Caitlyn was plotting on Mecca, smiling in Belle's face. And them two are just close as hell, posting Taylor Swift videos on the internet. Nobody likes y'all.
Nobody likes y'all.
Nobody
And
likes y'all.
experts, let me explain something to y'all because this is where I'm gonna get at y'all. Because y'all was talking about y'all was gonna place originally, y'all were gonna place Nick with Marissa and Adam and Courtney. Originally, y'all were going to do that. To me, I fault y'all for this because at the end of the day, y'all should have did that and have him say and hold his feet to the fire. Y'all should have did that because that would have been an interesting show. Because she wouldn't have been able to do that to Adam the way she did that to Nick.
Exactly.
She wouldn't have
And
been
the
able
way
to
she
do that.
cried when he said you're terrible at pickleball, the score was 12-1. I was like, okay, Adam, you made your point. You could stop. But everything else he said, I agreed with. Listen, pickleball is something newer that's getting popular. To me, it just tells me people too lazy to play tennis. That's how I view it. But go ahead. But we do learn Courtney has a new man. All I put in my note is I hope she nice to him in the run at the first sight of a
No.
red flag. And Nick is going to be on Married at First Sight season 21, which will be in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte is a very family friendly area. I did consider living in North Carolina. I was torn between Raleigh and Charlotte. Preferred Raleigh over Charlotte for like job reasons and other things. But Charlotte seems to be a place that's more like family oriented. So I do feel like it's a good place for Married at First Sight just because James is there now. From what he explains, there's a lot of families. I think that that's
They're
good.
going to be great contenders because this is the finance capital of the U.S. I think they're going to get some great contenders that will probably be equally yoked. And, you know, I don't know about personality traits because I haven't been here that long to really see it. But I do know that, you know, as far as economics and things like that, I think they can get people who are equally yoked. And I hope that's what they're doing. I heard they're filming. I have not seen it. If they are filming here, I have not seen it, and they usually film in the city, and
They
Charlotte ain't
did
that big.
do. They've been there before. I see a lot of people saying Charlotte's new. Thank you, Miss Sandra. They have been in Charlotte before on season 9. I I don't know how I feel about them going back. I don't, because Charlotte's also a place where you either have a degree and are making a lot of money or you're not.
Struggling. Yep.
You're
It's
struggling. And James has a point that could be problematic
yeah.
uh, if they're not yoking people
Yes,
financially.
because it is a very cutthroat. You either making it or you not. You either found the greatness or you didn't. It's very cut and dry because the equilibrium of literally wages is literally like you can find somebody doing a job making $30 an hour. You can find somebody that's making $12 an hour. There's
Hmm.
no in between, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's hard, but that's part of why I stay in California because there's always an in between out here versus just poverty
Hmm.
and money, which I enjoy. But like the rest of the South, Charlotte, it's you either got it or you don't.
You gotta, yeah, y'all gotta find some. One thing about what I'm learning about this city, they don't have any middle ground here. There is no middle ground here, and that's crazy.
It's
There's
the
no.
South, so I can understand that. Most of the South, there's no disrespect, no middle ground. Everybody I know who moved to Texas, they either making good money or they're struggling. Everybody from my family in New Orleans and all throughout Louisiana, same thing. My best friend in Mississippi, either you making it or you're not. That's why I'd be like, come on, our ancestors fought to get us out the South. Y'all get out of there or get a degree, something. But I don't know what they'll do with Charlotte next season, but I'm hoping it's better. But Nick being there is kind of a red flag for me. I don't think he should have been invited first, and it doesn't add to his credibility because Courtney's first issue with him was how many reality shows he's done, and now he's doing this one again. I wouldn't trust
Um,
these people to match me again after what they did this season. I just wouldn't.
I agree with you because I wouldn't want them to match me either. If they put me through that ridiculous torment, I wouldn't want them to match me with anybody either. Because if you'll play with me once, you'll play with me again, and that's when I will cuss you out. So if y'all want me on the show again to get cussed out, then I will greatly do so. I will greatly cuss y'all out in front of everybody because y'all not gonna keep playing with me. But if oh, he was joking. He wasn't okay. So he may not have been serious, but even still, they couldn't play with me in my time like that. No, after Courtney, no, absolutely not.
Nick was joking about what? Because the experts announced that he would be on season 21. I'm so confused. If
I have
he
to go
was,
back and rewatch it because I
he
don't
better not
remember.
be on that show next season. Because honestly, mm-mm, I don't like how he moved. I agree that he should not have been cast. And they did make Adam apologize for the truth because they wanted to give Courtney the poor little white girl tears. That's what it was. Let's just call a
Well, I
spade a
wouldn't
spade.
apologize for shit. I told them I ain't apologizing for shit. That's what I said. And that's what I meant.
Alicia said never heard that for Hinge. I have, but I also live in what's known as like a mecca and a safe space for the LGBTQIA
Yeah.
community here in the Bay Area. And when Hinge came out, the only people who used it were those who were in that community. I don't know how it is in every other state. That one and Grinder. But yes, oh yeah, Sandra's in Charlotte.
Oh,
Please
that's
let us know.
right. We got to link up one day, Sandra.
Oh Lord, she says upward mobility has been an issue in the South for years here. I believe that. I
I
believe
see.
that.
I see it. I've only been here what 4 months. I see it very clearly. It is, and it's also very like to me that's duplicitous of a city to do because to me you're trying to keep the poor poor and the rich rich when you do things
That's
like
the
this.
South history.
Yep.
That's what they do. That's why I always encourage people if you're moving states, like research, look it up, not just what they got in town and what there is to do. Look up the job market for if you have a degree in your field, if you have a trade in your field, even if you don't, if you've been working at grocery stores your whole life, look up are there available jobs in grocery stores? Is it easy to get there? Always do your research before moving somewhere. It's extremely irresponsible to not do it, but there are great things about the South compared to other states. If you could find a way to make money, it's a great place to be. Paul was pissed about the comment about production. He was, but oh well.
Right.
Oh well,
You shouldn't
Paul.
have. You shouldn't have asked her a question. Just let her sit there.
That's what happened when you let that man be on the show after you had to make him call for the ex, which Alicia brought up in the comments. Why did they not discuss the fact
Yes.
that Adam had to be told to dump this woman?
Because New Boo Boo was sitting out there and he didn't want to have to explain that to her. Because then that would become a pattern. Because she gonna sit there. I honestly, y'all could have talked about because her stupid ass. She probably would have just said it was. Oh, it was production creating a storyline. Oh,
Courtney,
I can't stand an idiot.
respectfully, go to hell. Good luck with your new man. Any therapist in the Seattle area or Portland be available to help Courtney's man.
Okay.
Caitlin, her toxic bestie. I'm not wasting too much time on Caitlin. She says it was difficult for her to deal with the cameras and arguing over small things. You argued over small things because you went from being attached to suddenly detaching and ignoring him on the honeymoon, and it never improved. And she has to take responsibility for that. You cannot
Yes.
sell someone a dream. And I feel like that's what Caitlin did to
Yep.
Devin. And Devin is nice. Devin is kind. He seems to have really took the situation and the experiment seriously, but they asked Devin about the green light that she gave him to have sex, and he was like, I didn't make a move because you're giving me the green light in an argument, and it seems like just to shut me up, which I
Yep.
agreed with. And Sean, take notes, you bitch. Can't stand Sean. Because Devin got the green light and still held back because he didn't want to go into having sex with her just from an argument. He wanted it to be natural. He wanted her to like him. He wanted her to genuinely want him versus Sean, who's just trying to force it because he want to get a nut off. Let's call a spade a spade. But they barely saw each other off camera, and the other couples can confirm it, and they just were not compatible. The experts asked, like, where did we get this wrong? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? How about y'all should have held this lady accountable? They allowed Caitlin and Courtney to get away with so much. These men will have trauma and never date a woman whose name starts with C again. Like, it's just a lot. They weren't compatible. I don't want to get too much into Devin and Caitlin because they didn't have much to give. But I do feel like Caitlin's accountability felt rehearsed versus genuine. And I don't think she learned anything from this experience. I'll let James take the floor.
I just want to talk to the experts. I don't care about Caitlyn and Devin's segment at all because to me, I feel like both of them to some degree are full of shit. So I'm just gonna just say it like this. Experts, what y'all get wrong in this, because y'all asked this question and then us, the recappers of the show, are gonna answer it. What y'all get wrong is y'all don't pay attention, or or you do pay attention, but for the sake of ratings, y'all have to let certain things slide. Caitlyn and Courtney are perfect examples of that. Yes, they can have great intention on being, great people and want this for everything. But when they are in these sessions telling y'all things and y'all can't really pick up the context clues of the other person doing that, that is the problem. They are the problem. Adam, red flag. Felipe, red flag. Sean, red flag. Courtney, red flag. Caitlyn, red flag. But y'all still decided to match them up anyway, even though y'all had the context clues. So I don't want to hear where did we go wrong because now y'all trying to play in our face and
Yep.
make it seem like, oh no, these people were absolutely perfect for the experiment. We knew this was going to work. Y'all are playing in our face at this point when y'all ask stupid ass questions like that. Y'all know what y'all did wrong. The problem is y'all were lazy.
Yep. The
Y'all were
experts were
lazy.
extremely lazy or they didn't have control fully, but I need them to explain it because y'all gonna ask them where y'all went wrong. Like it's the LTD song, if you know, you know, to those who love the oldies, but y'all don't know this. Where did we go wrong?
Right.
I'm not saying oldies, but I'm just like, y'all are asking people who are not experts in relationships where you went wrong. How would they know if they needed you to even find a relationship?
Exactly.
You're the expert. That's a
You're
very
the
good point, James.
expert.
Thank you.
Because that question pissed me off because it was kind of like, so y'all are sitting up here and I think I'm getting pissed off on the strength of I'm thinking of Nikki, I'm thinking of Tori, I'm thinking of Devin, I'm thinking of these people who really went into this wanting somebody and wanting to give this all they got, getting into these relationships and actually compromising a lot of their dignity and what they need in somebody just to appease these fools. Like, hey, where did we go wrong? Paul, how about we start with when Felipe was late meeting you for the first time, you still thought he was a good candidate to match. How about we think about Paul when Adam sit up there had a whole girlfriend and he had to call and break up with her because you wanted to put him on the show versus seeing that as the red flag of he's in a relationship. Let me move on to another candidate because clearly he's not available. But where did we go wrong?
Or Dr. Pass not asking questions that were open-ended, which is the basis of anybody working with people, whether you're licensed or not. Why did you not ask open-ended questions to Caitlyn and Courtney when you were questioning them? Like, and I agree, Miss Sandra, Devin did seem subdued. I think that Devin and Adam came out of this with actual trauma.
Yeah.
Devin, Adam, and Nikki. Them three went through some stuff. But the experts were terrible. Maybe next season it'd be better because I've watched Married at First Sight since season 1. And I used to have problems with Dr. Pepper, Pastor Cal. I actually felt like he did a good job. It's just hard to take advice and respect the pastor if you're not in the church like that and don't have those beliefs. But I don't know. I don't see it for these people. But at least we didn't have to watch Rhonda from last season. So that's a plus.
Right.
Can't stand Courtney. None of us can stand Courtney. Miss Sandra says they caused damage for sure. They did, and that's unfortunate because they weren't even together for so long to do this much damage. But let this be a lesson to everybody. Don't just rush to move in with people. Don't just rush your relationships and try to skip steps and immediately get to marriage and acting like we know each other, because look at what happens when you do that. If you don't know the beast that you're dealing with, you could very well end up hurt by that beast. But you know, she got a new man. I think I couldn't remember if Caitlyn had a new man, but honestly I don't care.
She did. He was at a wedding. That's why he couldn't make it, but she said he probably wouldn't have shown up for this anyway, so it was kind of like,
it's weird to show up to your new person's ex televised anything.
it seems like she gonna run him away anyway, so I'm sure.
I don't see it for Caitlyn with dating. I just don't. But honestly, Caitlyn's a Gemini, and once I figured that out earlier in the season, I already knew her and Devin were not going to make it, and was surprised they were still on TV. Because with Geminis, we either like you or we don't in terms of dating, and we're also, as females, we are man eaters. It does take a lot to hold us down, and you can't be no weak-minded individual dating a Gemini. You need to be secure in yourself. You need to be secure and confident in your arguments, because we are the most analytical sign. We lead the chart, and we will eat your ass up if you not coming correct or confident. It's true. It's very true. Just saying. So you gotta find somebody who not weak. Trust me, Mr. Best know how to get me to hear him out, and he know what to do. But Caitlyn, I don't know. I don't see it for her. For your dad to do all of that, girl, because they didn't bring up her
that's
dad.
that's what I really get mad at is her dad. Every time I think about her, I think about how her dad acted. I'm like, sir, your daughter is the problem.
Right. And that's probably why she's the problem. Because her dad probably pumped her up a little bit too much. But Caitlyn, I do wish you the best. It's more so Courtney I don't like over Caitlyn. Caitlyn did too much and acted like she didn't want to do the experiment. But she was not mean the way that Courtney was. And there's a difference. Feel how you feel, but you don't need to be cruel and unusual. And Courtney's cruel and unusual. Can't stand it. Nikki and Sean. Paul, I hope you never return. You fanboyed out, weak-ass life coach. My wife wants to know. We don't give a fuck what your wife wants to know. Why are you telling us that? She's important to you, not us. What we want to know is why you're so bad at your job, Paul. That's what we want to know. Because on Married at First Sight in the UK or the other one, he's not as bad. This one, he's terrible. Terrible. But Nikki and Sean, the first thing Paul asked is how she did not know it was her groom. And I hollered because Nikki was like, the thing of it is, I thought he was the officiator. She did not mean to throw the shade, but she threw shade. Sean, as I said before, nothing about you is attractive, even with the weight loss, sir. Nothing about you is attractive, especially when we know that you don't shower now. But even before we knew you, why would you show up in that suit to that wedding? It bothered me. And he did look like the officiant. Or when you go to San Francisco and you go to the Four Seasons and you use the valet to park your car, that's what they wear. That's what they wear. I like the Four Seasons. They have a great brunch in the city. If anyone's in the Bay Area, hit me up. We could go eat. But I mean, she thought he was the officiator of the wedding. I'm not sure how she thought that because I could have sworn the officiator was like standing up there already because they're usually there before the bride and the groom. But that was her excuse. And Sean just looked so bothered. You could tell he just doesn't like the fact that a woman called him out. And what's interesting is men, especially like Sean, but men in general are visual creatures, right? So men are always commenting on the physical appearance of a woman. Let's call a spade a spade. Women got to wear bras for men. We have to keep up with our hair for men, nails because men want to look at us a certain way. A lot of feminism is rooted in misogyny from men. Okay, that's just my opinion. I've written papers on it and I got good grades on it. So that's just my opinion that I'm sticking to. However, Sean, you was up there thinking that you was Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know why I'm thinking of Contessa on Married to Medicine because you know she loved her some him. And you give Ed from 90 Day Fiance. So I don't understand, Sean. For those who don't know Ed from 90 Day Fiance, Sean reminds me of him. He's just got melanin. But Sean, you also thought you were bigger than the program. And Felipe chimes in and mentions sexual comments and the fact that Nikki tried to put some things aside, and Felipe makes the comments that it was very clear that Nikki was not comfortable having sex with you and that there lacked attraction. And I wish that Nikki just would have said it. She wasn't attracted to him. I mean, she did say it. It still seemed like she was giving Sean some type of grace, at least at the beginning of the segment. Now, when Paul moves to ask about how they built up family, because Sean says family is so important to him, and he keeps proving my theory that the closer someone is to family and the more important family is to a person, the more undateable they are and the more that they struggle to make it work in relationships. I keep seeing this pattern in TV and in real life. Man, nothing's wrong with loving your family, but I don't know what it is. There's always some sort of like red flag that comes with that to a certain extent. And Sean says that he had lots of family that Nikki was able to meet and talk to. And Nikki's mom was there and in the audience. Sean's mama was smart to not show up. Honestly, anybody in Sean's life was smart not to show up. Because how the fuck would you defend this shit? How would you defend it? And I don't think that Sean's family are bad people at all. Honestly, they looked like lovely people. I think it's wonderful that they're in the church. They all seem to be educated and doing great things. He's just like the ugly duckling of the family. Like, we don't know if he's gonna live or not. Like, he's terrible. But Nikki's mom points out, and you could tell this lady wanted to say a lot more. She told him, though, essentially that he did not respect or protect her daughter, which was true. And Sean says that he is sorry for what she feels, not for what he did, which is a common classic way to manipulate an apology and gaslight yourself out of a situation. And he then tells her mom in his apology, you know, I wanted to meet you, but your daughter canceled us meeting 4 times. Yeah, bitch nigga, she canceled you meeting her mama 4 times because you were treating her like shit, begging for sex, being condescending, calling her a 7 in New York, but a 10 in Seattle when you're a -3 all over the country and overseas. The fuck? I wish a nigga would tell me I'm a 7 one place and a 10 the other place. Well, at least I'm a 10 somewhere and I'm above 5 and I'm more than halfway. Yo ass can't even get to 1%. You want to tell me and rate me as a woman when you fixed yourself to come on national television and tell the world that you got your first piece of pussy when you was old as hell and couldn't get no more ass for another 10 years. Probably because these bitches smelled your dick because you don't wash the lower quadrant of your body, Sean. I don't like this man. He's an embarrassment to Black man. He is an embarrassment to Black people. He is an embarrassment to anyone heterosexual. He is an embarrassment to gay men. He is not dateable. And I don't like his ego and him thinking that because he made sure to tell this doctor, you know, I have the pleasure of putting doctor in front of my name. What does that have to do with dating? What does that have to do with dating outside of money? Telling us these things about yourself. So Sean sat there and did all of that to the mom, gave this fake ass apology, and the mother, he tried to blame Nikki basically for not letting the marriage go well instead of taking any accountability. And he said more awful things. Nikki is now single. Sean is single. But here's what he had to do because he was embarrassed, but he'll never admit it. I'm not dating anybody anymore, but because of the show, I've got some nice Lisa Leslie looking women in my DMs. No, the fuck you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. The only women in your DMs are the same types of women that be defending men who have been violent or serial cheaters on TV. Broken ones, stupid bitches, scallywag type hoes. Those are the only women in your DM. And leave Lisa Leslie out of it. She's a lesson. Leave Lisa out of it. Why would you bring her name into that? Your job don't even want to be affiliated with you, sir. So now you want to bring up Lisa Leslie? Basketball legend? No. I cannot stand Sean, and I wish him to never be on television again, and I hope they deny his unemployment claim. That's how I feel. I'm going to be nice because my husband is saying my hate for Sean is evident. Mr. Best be knowing when I be watching this show, the way I be fighting the air and punching the screen, okay? I'm like, what's his face in Boys in the Hood when he was punching the air, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character? Like, I can't with Sean. I just can't with Sean. But how do you feel, friend?
I don't even know if I could even go after all of that, but
You
I would
can't.
try. I would try anyway. No, here's the thing. The problem that I have with Sean is I saw two things that you were trying to do. One, you were trying to make Nikki look like the bad guy by saying that, oh, well, you didn't want to introduce me to your family, and you have witnessed me with my family hosting game nights and things like that, which were all very beautiful things. We're not going to take that away from you. But one thing I think you were trying to do is you were trying to use that as making Nikki look like the bad guy versus you. So anything that you could have said that demeaned Nikki can be disputed because at the end of the day, your family knows you to be this nice guy, and if you got in her family, they thought the same of you, then that would put Nikki on the outs. Nikki ain't no fool, and that's why I'm glad she said, "Why the fuck would I introduce you to my family when I don't even feel safe with you? Why would I bring somebody who's an endanger to me to my family? That makes no sense." And I'm glad Nikki said that. Nikki, I'm telling you, I have been championing you this entire time, and I couldn't be any more proud of you in this moment because that is exactly right. I saw what Sean was trying to do, and I'm glad you did it right there. And it was funny because she said, "You owe my mama a fucking apology. Since you want to sit up there and act like, well, I don't know what I did to your daughter that can make me look like I was a bad guy." You know what you did? You sat up there and said this woman was not attractive enough for you. You said that this woman was rude. You tried to diminish her feelings. You tried to do a lot of different things that were uncalled for when she has the right to feel the way she feels, regardless if that impugns you. It shouldn't, but it did. And that's her right because she didn't know you. It's not like she picked you out in the club and told the expert, yeah, this is the man I want to marry, and then cold switched on you. She said it from the very beginning. I'm not physically attracted to you. I have to work on this. I am willing to put in the effort. If you're willing to put in the effort, that is fair. And to me, that is a more of a compromise than she should have given. But for you to sit there and try to make her look like the evil one-eyed monster just because it would make yourself feel better, crazy. I'm glad that she left you. I'm glad that Nikki, as I said, I wouldn't have gave him no energy, but I'm glad you did. I was so proud of you in that moment. And yes, how dare you, Sean? Because that's fucking crazy that you even would do that.
The expert should have called him out also on consent because obviously he doesn't fucking understand it.
Yeah.
Like you said, Nikki told him from the beginning she's not attracted to him and wanted to wait on sex and had to build up the attraction. He pressured her constantly until she let him see her private part. Constantly pressured her. Don't bring nobody like Sean on TV no more.
I don't understand how he even got past security experts. I don't understand this. I don't understand how Sean made his way on this show.
Let it be
Production,
a lesson to people though. Like, if this is what people are going through dating, y'all just stay single.
right?
Ain't
Stay
no way you
single.
gonna be
Listen,
begging and pressuring me and wanting to talk about sex all the time. Sex is not a conversation. It should happen naturally. That's just my
and first
opinion.
of all, it's not a spectator sport. It's not something that we just do just because it's something that we get in the ring and do. It's something that we have to have convention. I get a lot of kids nowadays making it to where it's emotionalist and it's not supposed to be. But at the end of the day, if we're married, it's supposed to be an opening of a deeper connection we have to connect to each other, not some old, flip of the switch. I need it because it's in our marriage and bylaws. It has to, in section 332 4.4, we have to have sex as a married couple. No, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't.
It
It,
doesn't work like that.
I had surgery. I couldn't have sex for almost a month. Like, Sean would have been while I'm on the side taking my medications and
Okay.
all this stuff. Okay, Sean would have been like, "Do you think you're well enough to?"
Give it a go and give it a ride or whatever he said
And
it
he
was
got a
what.
lot of audacity for a nigga that don't wash his balls. You got a lot of audacity trying to come at a woman to have sex. You're coming for her pH, sir. Go to hell.
Okay. Um,
Sandra says he wanted to charm her family and make them pressure her to stay married. I
No, it
think
wasn't
so
even that.
too.
It was that, but it was more so he didn't want to look like the bad guy she was making him out to be.
Yep.
And he wanted to diffuse that and then make her the problem. And I don't understand how you thought that that would even work. Because I don't give a fuck what I was like. My family ain't never turned their back on me over somebody. So I don't care what I look like. I could be Ike Turner. My family is not going against me for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
And he
you may so
like
what the
that.
hell what you talking about? That's why I said that shit made no
He think
sense.
he's smart. That's he uses his intelligence and his education as a weapon. And I hate people who do that. And I
Yep.
encourage them to look into his degree. Alicia, we know Nick's comment was a joke. I know you're I think you're rewinding, watching a little bit, but Miss Sandra cleared up that on Threads, he had made it clear it was a joke. But the experts just sat there and giggled. So I was like, what the heck? I hope not. But I wish him the best in finding love. I do, Mr.
Same.
Nick. Nikki gave grace for the bathing and the bread time pressure, in my opinion. She gave too much grace. I feel like women, that's the one area we never give grace on. If I don't want to have sex, I'm not having sex. I don't have to fuck you. And if I don't want to have sex, that means all sex, oral sex, pretending to have sex, third base, whatever you call it. If I tell you I don't want to fuck you, don't ask me for no mutual masturbation. Don't ask me to give you no head. Don't ask to see me naked. We're not having sex. And that's really the worst part of what Sean did. That's triggering. That's triggering for a lot of people. Someone don't want to fuck you, they just don't want to fuck you. You cannot make them. And it would be weird if you wanted to. But y'all, we do know that Married at First Sight next season will be in Charlotte, North Carolina. So shout out to everybody in Charlotte, including James and Miss Sandra and whoever else is over there. I'm gonna hope that it is better. We've done seasons everywhere. I'm gonna hope next season is better. I'll be recapping it with James whenever it comes back. But the season stressed me out, y'all. I don't really have much to add. I think we got all that we could get out. I'm going to ask James before we get out of here. What is your next live coming or shows you have coming up for thy people to know? Reminder
Right.
that the link to James's channel is in the description of this video.
So upcoming on my channel, I did promise you guys a live for my opinion on Ariana Curry joining Love Marriage Huntsville, which premieres in a couple of weeks. I will be covering that show and also will give you guys my opinion on that. I think I can actually squeeze that in tomorrow if Mrs. Best has time. Also, I'm going to do Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I did agree to that, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Married to Medicine, I'm hearing is going to be back in November, so I'll be back with Married to Medicine. I still have Next Gen NYC. We have, I think, one more episode, two more episodes, and then a reunion. So I have that on my channel. And then I'm also going to revamp my channel and kind of do some different avenues because reality TV is great, you guys. I love reality TV. Recapping it is fun because I do it with my best friend, and it's just been absolutely amazing. But I do want to take my channel elsewhere because I kind of feel like it's getting old to review. So we'll see what happens with that. And I hope to get that by October of revamping my channel. That is my goal. I am working hard to make sure I obtain it.
You'll do it. You'll do it. You have the channel, you have the following. I'll be here to support you as well as the other creators we deal with. But yeah, you have a lot coming. All your shows always come back like during the fall and winter. They all go away.
Yes.
But I look forward to your channel revamp. Tomorrow morning, I have a live, the Best Buzz live. I don't know what time it is, but I know I set it up on the channel, so it should be set up already. It looks like I'll be doing that at 9:30 a.m. I am going to get my Put a Ring on It review. That will be up tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. That is California time, 11:12:1, so 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Age Inappropriate, I will drop that review tomorrow. And then, of course, through the week, we have Ultimate Girls Trip for the Housewives. Beauty in Black, me and Kiwan are watching and reviewing it, so I'll let you know when that'll be coming. But we have a lot. I have dove into scripted TV. I'm gonna try and add this these Buzz Lives since all the people are acting a fool on these shows. But please consider subscribing to James's channel as well as my channel and the Black creators that are in the description, such as Sandra P and Kiwan JTV.
Yes.
But other than that, I'm excited, y'all, about to get ready to see Christopher Maurice Brown and Usher. So I am going to go get dressed and wash my ass, all of it. I'm not going to do a wipe me down. I'm going to get in water. It's going to be hot. And I'm going to use soap. Okay? I'm going to rinse and then I'm going to repeat all of it. I'm lifting titties, lifting legs, opening things. We're getting it clean.
Okay, he make you want to go take a nice hell. I don't have a tub anymore, y'all, but he make you want to get in a tub and just
James
yeah,
loves
just
garden tub. I'm
I
sorry.
do. When I tell y'all I need a tub, I need a tub.
He loves a tub. Nothing
I
wrong
do.
with soaking. It's good for your skin. But y'all, I hope everybody enjoys your day. If you're watching the replay, we appreciate you for being here. I'm sorry for my language if it offends anybody. And we will see you next time. Have a good day, y'all.